Off you go.
Let's try this again. Hopefully it works this time. Again, that's annoying. Considering everything went fine last stream, but whatever. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, what were we talking about? I don't even remember what we were talking about. But Jordy's next to go. Yeah. I don't get what... I don't know. Still saying the stream is unstable. But, I mean, I see it, so I mean, whatever. What do you think of BBCAN10? Oh, yeah, everyone's talking about BBCAN10, right? Yeah, again, like, I don't, like... I'm not connecting with it as much as BBCAN9. But it is probably one of the craziest houses really ever. Like, I mean, I think... with this week also turning out to be a crazy week in what should have been another pretty straightforward week. Mind you, there has been like icky stuff going on, which is like kind of like, but in terms of the like craziness of the gameplay, like it is pretty insane. They're trying to get Jess to put up Kevin. Will that work? Which, I mean, dude, if it does, my stock watch just continues to get worse and worse and worse. But whatever. Am I gonna upload the 5 minutes? Probably not, realistically. Matters how this goes. Like, if we continue to, like, if it keeps on getting broken up into parts, then yeah. But, if this ends up, like, if the stream ends up being stable for a while at this point, then I'll probably not even bother, to be honest. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Hopefully, nothing goes wrong. Coda won Best Picture. Interesting. Which one's Coda? I did see that a lot of it was winning noms. I did check, like, or winning a lot of awards. I did check right before I started stream of like what's won so far. Okay, it's about child of deaf adults. Oh, the Marley Matlin movie. Okay, that seems. I mean, like, that's not on the realm of possibility. I mean, that wasn't like. I could definitely see that sort of movie winning Best Picture. It's an Apple movie. That's really random. Yeah, I mean, what else won? It's like Coda won a lot, right? Power of the Dog won Best Director. That seems like the what they typically do when like something doesn't win Best Picture, they give them Best Director. Will Smith actually won Best Actor. Jessica Chastain won Best Actress. Dune won a lot of technical stuff, so that's something. Yeah, anyway, saw the Batman. I completely forgot it came out. I do want to watch it at some point, but then I still haven't watched Spider-Man. And to be fair, I still haven't watched fucking like Black Widow or any of the other MC movies. So we'll see when I eventually get around to it.
What happened? That's what we're going to find.
Like Coda more than Power of the Dog.
Follow me.
That's good. Out stated today that seems like Edge of Extinction cast should have been cast for Day vs. Goliath. In terms of what? In terms of like you can break them up into the same like sort of tribe delineation or what? Are we gonna have the first final three on Australian Survivor? Yes. I believe Sam has openly said in her exit interviews that's the final three. And on the how many episodes we have left and how they normally structure episodes.
I say again, disperse. Congregating in this
BBCAN is accusing Jess of microaggressions. I mean, like, from what I understand, they are there.
Why don't you go back to England?
Like, based on the way she's talking, or they're talking about Moose.
Never. Not until you've answered for your crimes. You're right, coward. You don't scare us.
I think I said was more of a joke on how unbalanced the tribes were physically.
Is that my father?
What, Edge of Extinction? I mean, I guess it was, right? Where, like, Kama was, like, much more...
I need you to tail his accomplice.
was like the dominant tribe there, and it did have like Joe and then like Eric.
Do as I say and go.
Oh.
Come on, you gosh-gutted coward! You doesn't shoot at me!
Hey, Lobster!
Oh fuck, the
Go
tailing
ahead.
mission.
Fire
Ugh.
your little gun!
I'm more than likely, well, dang it, I don't know where we're at now. Like, I did not pay attention to what happened on the feeds today, but coming into today, it did seem like Moose was going home. But, I mean, who the fuck knows at this point? I can't believe how much of a train wreck this house is. It's like, why can't anyone just, like... It's weird, because, like, we do have a player in Herman who is trying to, like, play the more typical Big Brother game of setting up power structures and creating sides and whatnot, but like it's just like not being effective. Let's see if I did see JLP and Jeff Probst together, so that's something. Obviously very photoshopped backgrounds, which is weird. But yeah, I did see that was a thing. I mean, the problem with just calling Moose explosive is the fact that he wasn't explosive. I mean, like, he was actually the complete opposite of that in the conversations, where, like, he was, like, very calm. But again, that's just like a typical microaggression of like, where what the fuck is up with the lighting in that, or whatever. Yeah, it's just like a typical microaggression of like reacting to people of color as more aggressive than what they actually are, and like perceiving them as more aggressive than what they actually are. What I think of today's AU episode, it was fine. I mean, like, I do find it really bizarre how all of a sudden David is now, like, this massive threat in the game. Like, I found it so fucking funny, the moment where, oh, I have to escape, I'm an idiot. But yeah, the moment where Mark is, like, listing out the threats. And he's saying, oh, we got Jordy, we got Josh, and we got Dave standing in my way to getting to the end. It's like, where the fuck did Dave come from? Like, to me at that point, I was like, okay, Dave's going home this episode. Like, why the fuck was this in the show? This, like, random line about Dave being this massive threat, was here. And it's like, it's also, like, not even, like, I don't know, it has to be partially true, right? Like, in the fact that they perceive Dave as a threat. Like, I assume Dave probably wins if he's not at the end with Josh, Jordy, or Mark. But, still, it is funny how, like, all of a sudden he's being talked out as, like, this massive threat. Apparently they're still accepting applications for 43 and 44. From what I understand, 43's cast is already put together. However, 44 might not be done just yet. I believe they are filming 43 next month, and then 44 immediately afterwards in May is the last I've heard. So they might still be, like, moving some people around for 44, but I do believe 43 is done, casting-wise. BBCAN10 secures itself as the best BB franchise every year. I mean, I'm probably... But it's, like, it's weird because, like, it's doing it by, like, casting a lot of people who, like, aren't that knowledgeable about the game. Like, it's like BBCAN is, like, good in, like, the opposite, like, right now with BBCAN 9 and 10. It's, like, kind of good in the opposite way that, like Survivor US is now good. Where, like, Survivor US, again, people criticize Survivor US, but I think in terms of its cast, what makes Survivor US cast pretty strong at this point is that so many people know the game and know the game very well. With BBCAN, they're casting people who don't know the game or, like, have only watched, like, one season. And through that, we're getting, like, a lot of, like, train wrecky gameplay.
You're Achilles' boy.
But it's like, I don't know if we can, like we obviously in BBCAN7 we got, like, Dane and Anthony really run the game. And for Anthony was one of these type of casting choices. But again, these last two seasons, I feel like with the change in their casting process, like, it's just like leading to a lot of like really bad gameplay from almost everyone. Guess that means KJ and Shay are goats. I think so at this point. I like from an Edgic standpoint, I would say KJ at least has like a sliver of a chance.
What am I supposed to do?
But yeah, I mean, I don't think they're winning. Shay especially, I think Shay's completely dead at this point. I think this episode was the I think this was the end of Shay's game.
Take down those posters and then we'll talk.
What did JL do? I'm not sure what JL do. I feel like we need less optimal players being casted like BBCAN is doing. Yeah, I think a problem with Big Brother US at this point is that Big Brother US is like so easily gamed. To where like I kind of like I get it more for Big Brother than Survivor. Of like casting people who aren't like as into the game. Well, the thing is, like, you need people who are into the game as in they want to play the game, but not necessarily people that know the game really well. Because if they know the game really well, then you have, like, people like if this season ended up being, like, 10 Hermans, then, like, we would have, like, a more, competent cast here. I don't even know why I'm bothered. Like, kill me. Yeah, there we go. But it's, like, because we don't have, like, all these people that would typically be on Survivor US, then I feel like that's why we're getting this train wrecky gameplay. Because like you're not having the because like we have like the like Kevin, Helena, Jess's who are all like trying to play the middle more so. I mean like Kevin's kind of come out more so now in the last like week or so, but yeah, like they're like not really playing the typical like modern meta strategy. And like those three are like three of the bigger fans on the season. Oh, yeah, mid-season power ranking, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Which by the way, that probably will be this week. The thing is like the thing that's annoying about mid-season power ranking for BBCAN is that I don't think we're guaranteed to be starting jury this week. For the US, this would be jury right now. Like this, and also like technically this is the halfway point in the season. Like the end of this week is literally the halfway point. But because it's BBCAN, they can have a jury starting at 9. Like they did that in BBCAN 6. And even though the last few seasons haven't had as big of cast, like they've also been 9-person or jury starting at 9. So it's not out of the realm possibility that the jury doesn't start this next round. But I think I'm just going to do the video anyway. Just because, again, it's like the halfway point season, like the length of the season wise. And also just works out for the schedule better. Just because I'm assuming next week is also going to be, like a week from this next Saturday, is going to be the mid-season power ranking for Survivor. Because now we also know that there's going to be a 2-hour merge episode. So essentially they're going to merge the like Hourglass Twist episodes into one. Okay, what is going on? Which means I can't do what I did last season where like I did it in between. This time I have to do it before. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make it next week. So, again, BBCAN, it's just better to do it now.
So long as those posters remain.
What's the player ranking? I don't even remember. I'm debating over what to do with Juicy Dave. Where, again, like as I mentioned earlier, it's like I think he probably wins at the end against anyone but those guys. And like he does technically play like kind of optimally in the last few rounds. Like, he is able to convince Josh that like, the blame on his flip goes more to Sam than it does to him, which is ridiculous. But, like, for some reason, Josh seems to believe it. So it's like, I mean, that is good work. But it's also, like, his game is really bad for a while. So it's really like how much Korean Star really put into his like last two or three rounds. So like I'm not entirely sure where he'll be. Like, is he above or below Jordan? I feel like that's a question to me. Where like Jordan is someone that like is always part of the, is for the most part always part of the majority, but like also doesn't really like do much from what we're shown. It's like from what we're shown, it is Josh and Josh's relationships that really are the end all be all with that group. And it's like, how much credit do you give to Jordan for being in the majority when like he obviously had his cousin out there that was putting him in the majority? So again, like I don't know. We'll see where those two land. Outside of that, like I feel solid that Sam and Jesse are probably still above them anyway. I think the way the Hourglass is edited is going to be interesting because Erica got a ton of personal content. Yeah, it'll be interesting how the Hourglass goes. I mean, yeah, the Hourglass last season was kind of used as this way to introduce Erica to the show.
Where are we going?
Where, again, she explicitly says early on that she's gonna come out later. I forgot the exact phrasing of it, but essentially that she's gonna hide back for now and then reveal herself later, and then like she does that in the merge episode. Thing is, I don't think we've gotten that solid of a storyline this season. Unlike someone that's being like blatantly hit, like who has said that, oh, you're gonna like I'm gonna turn it up later on. Like we haven't really gotten that this season. So like I don't know if the Hourglass is really gonna be that. And too, for Hourglass, like also, like obviously it's just beneficial that Erica is the one that went on the Hourglass. Where like here it's like obviously the winner isn't necessarily going to be the person that goes on the Hourglass thing. So yeah, I mean it could be interesting, but like more than likely, I think the Erica thing was just like a. They just looked at that as like the perfect time to introduce Erica to the show. Are they filming AU Survivor and Fiji this year? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. We don't know really anything. Last I've seen about the next season. 2 months, we don't even necessarily know that there is going to be a next season this year. I mean, I suspect that they will. But then ratings are down right now. Mind you, ratings are down because they're against like tough competition. So yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get another season this year for sure, but I don't know, it would be interesting to see if they still film in Australia or not. I know there's a lot of rumblings right now, like them potentially doing an All-Star season for next season to but because of all the because of the ratings have been going down and whatnot. I don't know if I tend to believe that. That they're going to do another full-blown All-Star season right away. Like, I could see them doing, like, fans versus favorites style of a season, but, like, I don't know if they're going to go full-blown All-Stars just yet. That seems so close, but, the All-Star seasons do bad ratings. All-Star seasons of, like, the thing is, All-Star seasons of Big Brother have typically done bad. All-Star seasons in general for Survivor, like, I think the first All-Star season usually does well. Like, Survivor All-Stars was massive. And while, like, obviously just Survivor in general was still pretty big at that point, and, like, Survivor All-Stars, I believe ratings-wise, like, was, like, not much better. But it's like there was a lot of hype around Survivor All-Stars in the US. And I feel like the same thing with Australian Survivor All-Stars, where they did a much bigger, like, promotional campaign and whatnot. I don't know if it'll be the same thing here, though. Like, I don't know if it would really be that beneficial for them to do it now. Yeah, I do find I didn't pay attention to that until today when I was looking at the voting chart. But yeah, David was the last remaining Blood member, which is funny considering like he had to use his idol in the first tribal to keep himself around there where like everyone wanted him out. And then also the fact that again, it's the thing that he's just the last. Like we're down to 6 original water members at this point. Yeah, I think season 10 seems more likely to be All Stars. Season 8 just feels a bit early. Again, it's only been 2 seasons since the last All-Star season. Even in that, like, we've had, 3 returnees on this season? Like, I just don't see why, on paper, we need an All-Star season. But again, who knows what the network is thinking. Because clearly I agree with what the network does. Okay, but yeah, it does look like stream is back to being stable. Hopefully it stays like that. Okay. I have seen Challenge CBS spoilers. I don't know if I'm like fully caught up though, but I have seen stuff. Interesting results, I will say that. Razzies were on Saturday. Who won the Razzie? Let's see. LeBron James won Worst Actor. That makes sense. Let's see. 42nd Razzie, is that the one? Diana the Musical won Best or Worst Picture. I never even heard of it. Okay. A musical based on Diana, Princess Diana. That makes sense. I haven't even heard of most of these movies, if I'm being honest. Whatever. I did see the Will Smith slap. I don't know. Again, like, to me, I still feel like, even after seeing it and whatnot, like, I still feel like this is a thing that the Oscars is trying to do to bring up publicity about it. Like, this just seems so, like, out of left field for this to be a real thing that happens. Or again, like, people have, like, talked bad about Will Smith and Jada for years. Like, why is this, like, one fucking comment, or one joke from, Chris Rock gonna make him go up and slap them there?
In the future, such things will come at a price.
You got advantage in an org that is only pre-merged, but it's an idol right now that only negates one vote, but every time it isn't used, it gets passed on to someone on the other tribe.
Nor I.
Okay, that's an interesting. So you're saying it's it's essentially an advantage that negates one vote now, but if you pass it to someone on the other tribe, it gains more votes.
Oh, now you've had a chance to see how it all works.
That seems like overly complicated, and like it's something that I think in real life could be something that's like super tough to game outside of like a Blood vs. Water season. But it is an interesting twist. Don't spoil myself on Challenge CBS.
Remove wanted posters.
I mean, like, I know the first like at least 4 or 5 boots at this point.
Wrong. Why not just speak to someone and explain my innocence?
You can't be serious.
We counter one lie.
Any schedule changes? Not really.
And all of it without question.
I think most things are the same.
Have you forgotten? I merely helped you turn it
let's see.
There must
most things are the same.
Something more honest.
And actually, probably things are more like locked in at this point. Where this Wednesday will be BBCAN Final Juror Ranking. Again, I feel solid I'm going to do the mid-season power ranking for BBCAN this week. With the essentially announcement of next week being grand final week for Australian Survivor. Next Wednesday will be the season review. I think I'll do the mid-season power ranking for Survivor next week, because that'll be right before the merge on the Saturday, and then the Wednesday following that will be the player ranking for Australian Survivor. And beyond that, it kind of just goes with the videos I already have scheduled. So you got Final Juror, Mass Effect, Squad Member ranking, Worst Player of All Time for Survivor, Final Juror ranking for SA, and then Worst Player of All Time for Big Brother. And that should be solid. Though there could be some things being knocked around there. Oh yeah, something that did change actually. We did talk about the Genius video last time. I did actually bump that about a month. So now it's in September. Why did I do that? I forgot, what was it? Oh, Plague Tale, because again, I decided to bump up the Plague Tale retrospective. Now that we there's a leaked date, who knows if it's actually real. But either way, I assumed I scheduled it for a bit too late anyway, so I decided to bump that up. And because that the Genius video got bumped back a month, and then I think the Final Juror ranking for Australian Survivor got bumped a month or something like that. So some minor changes like that, but those are for way down the road anyway. What do I think of Hamza as a player? Pretty bad. Like he has like good aspects to him in the sense that he is like, he does build good like one-on-one bonds, and he's like a very active player. It's just that he's also like not a good, like he's one that's like kind of actively bad most of the time. Where like a lot of the reason why he's taken out where he is because he is like such a loose cannon, and Johnny can't trust him, so Johnny like forces Olivia's hand and putting him up. Stream's laggy. Seems like bitrate should be fine. And I do see it's like a bit like not ideal. I don't know. Hopefully it stays up. I don't know why it's so bad right now. It's really weird. Like, I literally tested my upload right before I started streaming. It's like at 18. Which, like, usually you only need, like 6 to 10. So it's, like, it's way above what it needs to be. So I don't know why it's getting a bit janky. But whatever. Where will Mark rank as a winner? I think bottom top tier. I think kind of part of this, like kind of like around where like I would have Yule, where it's like someone that like plays a dominant game on paper, but someone that was like benefited by a lot of like extenuating circumstances. Like when it comes to Mark, obviously the fact that he had his wife there, that helped him find a second idol that he's more than likely going to use to end up getting to the end. Like him having to win out at this point, to be honest, I don't put that much like I don't have that much against him for having to win out at this point, considering one, it's part of the plan. Like he is actively deciding to like essentially win out, but also like it's a situation that was put on him because of the purgatory twist, where had it not been for purgatory he would have already been at the final 6 with 2 idols, but because of the purgatory twist they added 3 more rounds to the game, and also like significantly decreased his power in the game by having 3 people that he already voted out come back to the game with an advantage that they get at the auction, despite the fact that they played the auction well. Yeah, like they have them being able to flip the power structure there, but even in that situation, they come out of that tied in numbers. So like I feel like it's like I don't fault Mark too much for like the position he's currently in. To his season ranking of the tester, there's only 3 seasons. There's not much to really rank there. I will probably do like some sort of retrospective on this series. I don't know if I'm going to do like season 1 retrospective, season 2 retrospective, season 3. But yeah, I'll definitely do a video at some point.
Please, help! He's going to die!
Quick thoughts on Circle season 3. I really liked it. Circle US season 3 is probably my favorite season of the Circle. Like I think it's like debatable with like UK season 1, but I feel like season 3 is like one of the most like game heavy seasons of the Circle, and also I felt like most of the cast was pretty likable. And then I think Nick is probably one of the best players to play the game. So again, I overall do like it. I'm doing International Survivor ranking auctions, probably not for a very, very long time. Yeah, like I feel like I would have season 1. Yeah, it probably would, like if I were to rank tester season, it probably would be 1, 2, 3. Like season 1 is like I've watched season 1 over and over and over again. Like I'm an idiot, but I've watched season 1 so many times. And like season 2, I feel like there's definitely stuff that stick out. Maybe like some ickiness from like a big physique. But like overall, like I still like enjoyed the season as a whole. Season 3 did feel a bit weird. I don't remember exactly why, but like it never did click with me as much. Are Nick and Rachel still dating? I knew they like went on a date after the season, but I didn't know if they were like still dating or not. Too honest, not that I really care that much. Like it really doesn't matter. Survived the Gabon auction at 1. I can see the argument. Not really for me necessarily, but yeah, it is a good auction. Where did I have it? I have no memory of my actual ranking anymore. Like it hasn't even been that long since I made the video. It's only been like 2 months or something. And obviously it just came out like last week. Which, by the way, I am surprised at how like decently my recasting All-Star video is doing.
We've got the camp set up a few rods off.
Had at 4. Okay.
We're hoping to open a middle.
Actually, I think I had it at 2 for a while, if I remember right. I think I had it above Cook. No, I think I had it at 3. I did not have it above Worlds Apart, but I had it above Cook Islands for a while. Yeah, recasting Ulcers, like I'm surprised at how well it's doing. Or not well. Again, like at the end of the day, it's still below average for a Survivor video. But considering most videos I do about Survivor All Stars don't do well, especially in comparison to Heroes vs. Villains. Like this video's doing okay. I mean, it's at 4,000 views right now, which is only like a few hundred behind the Heroes vs. Villains version of it. When like last time when I did like redividing the tribes video, like that All-Star version like really bombed. So I was thinking that this video would do a similar thing, but like it's doing fine enough. Like I'm pretty content with how it's doing. What is it? So that's something. Penny Ramsey robbed from All-Star Recast. I think I'm good. I don't think I need to see Penny Ramsey. What's funny too is I actually rewatched the video twice, and I'm actually trying to think about it now. And like I don't even remember like who I swap out. Oh, I did T-Bird, right? Because like I know I split up the tribe, so I like had a winner tribe, runner-up tribe, kind of runner-up, third place tribe. Again, Johnny Fairplay fucked things over, but and then like other people tribe essentially. Except for Hitman video, I have no clue when that's coming out. Like I have so many videos in the forefront. Like I still haven't released my Judgment videos yet. And my Yakuza Like a Dragon videos. Like that was made over a year ago now. Oh no, that was I guess by the time it comes out, it'll be over a year. Yeah, and then after that, I'll be a bit more free. But yeah, like it is. I'm not 100% on when those are coming out still. That's my problem with like video game videos. There's so many video game videos I want to do, but like it just doesn't really align the schedule that well, especially when they're like not time sensitive. Because like there's obviously like videos I do like I try to make around anniversary, so like at least then I feel more incentivized that this needs to be out by this specific time. But then there's these other videos like the Hitman videos and I don't even remember what else I have in the back burner right now, but like other videos that like it just like doesn't feel like as much of a priority to get them out. Rob Z should have been on All Stars. I would be interested in seeing Rob Z back at this point. Because like Rob Z seems like a more mellow guy. I mean, I don't know if mellow is the right term actually. Like he seems like kind of like intense guy now. But I think he's more like intelligent guy. Maybe? Like I don't think he's like this bumbling doofus that he was when he was on Thailand. To where like maybe he could be interesting on Return now. I obviously doubt he would come back. Like I don't think he's at the top of their mind of people to bring back. But I think it would be interesting. Okay, cool. Heidi should have been on All Stars. Yeah, she did decline. Heidi did not want to come back. And dude, even if she did, I don't know what spot they're putting her in. Like, where would they have cast her? Like, who would they have replaced her with? Like maybe Jenna Lewis, I mean. But yeah, like I don't know. Because like I mean like obviously the rumor is that they essentially got everyone that they wanted with the exception of like Colleen and Elizabeth, who they swapped out with Jenna and Jenna Lewis and Amber. But then again, like we do know that like that Heidi declined and some other people. But it's like, yeah, I don't know where like even if Heidi said yes, I don't know where they would have put her. How many what if videos are coming? I don't think that many right now. I mean, they're coming. It's just that I don't have any made yet. Because like with Survivor, I am waiting until Survivor 42 ends to do a lot of them. Like I think I have like 3 or 4 on the schedule, but I can't do them yet because I need to wait for 42. And there's a lot of Survivor videos that I want to make, but I can't do it yet. But like I have a Big Brother one that's already done. That'll be out before 24. Yeah, like in terms of Survivor, I don't have any done right now.
Who is she?
Who is she? Why, the Aquila boy, the ghost.
Yeah, like I have what is it? Like what if every season had jury removal? That's a video.
She's a ship boy, and make no mistake about it.
What are the other what if videos? I'm pretty sure I had more than that. I think I just skipped through a lot of them. I knew I had like 3 or 4. I mean, I had what if Survivor 40 wasn't Winners at War. But that's not as time sensitive a video. That's just one I haven't gotten around to recording these. Didn't think of it until not too long ago. What if the merge beat won every immunity? That's a video.
Some quality timber would help me get started.
I can see to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. They'll come at some point.
Is able to sail again.
Do I find it astonishing that people voted for Monica over Stephanie Valencia? Not really. Like, it's not that big of a surprise. But I voted for Stephanie Valencia. I'm a big Stephanie Valencia fan. Actually, like I genuinely was like a big Stephanie Valencia fan at time second chance. But yeah, it didn't come true. And now she said more recently that she doesn't want to play again. So it's like, oh, what a tragedy. When's final jury ranking for Big Brother coming out? Probably in a few weeks. Like essentially, it's the next Saturday video after these mid-season power rankings. So I think it's it's 3 weeks from yesterday, I think, is what's currently scheduled for. If I could pick any one-time Big Brother player to return for All-Stars, who would I pick? Probably like Vanessa, right? I don't know, like maybe like a Jason Guy, maybe Eric Stein. I think those would probably be the answers. Maybe Derek, but it's like also it's like I don't think it would go well. What final 3 HOHs lost?
I've something to show you.
Did I not do that? I think the reason I didn't do that is because it's like very similar to the other thing, right?
It lets us manage the homestead's dealings.
Yeah, because like in many scenarios, the final juror is also the person that lost the final HOH. So it's like I already ran through most of those scenarios, so it just feels kind of repetitive to do that video. Will War Dog be on the next Second Chance ballot? I doubt it, personally, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. Oh yeah, June's also a good answer. June's a decent one. I hate this thing. Just let me continue on. I don't want to do this. I always hated this system. I never did outside of the one time I did 100% completion. I'm literally just bashing on buttons at this point. There we go. Cool. That was well worth it. Yeah, Stephanie Valencia was my Lauren O'Connell. I mean, I guess you could say that. I mean, yeah, I would love a War Dog return. I think it'd be fun. Casting Amazing Race All Stars 3. I don't know. Like, the problem I have with Amazing Race All-Stars is that the cast is so small. Like, with Amazing Race only having, like, 11 teams on a season, like, I don't know. I don't think it makes for that interesting of, like, especially a general All-Star season where, like, you probably want some winners on there. But then also, that's, like, not the way Amazing Race does All-Star seasons.
That to approach them now would see me killed.
I'm gonna die. Yeah. Whatever. You want a Rock Story return already? Why not? Give him that a shot. It's not looking great for this one. Why was Amazing Race 8 not All-Stars? I don't know. Why wasn't it? Because, like, obviously that was the plan coming into it, but then they switched it to Family Edition, which was obviously a great decision. Yeah, I don't know why they switched out. Better player, Shay. Oh, the two Shays?
No, not the left.
Like, I would say Shay from NZ was better positioned through more of the game. I don't know, I'd probably say NZ Shay, but, like, it's not that big of a difference.
Aye.
Dreamcast Amazing Race season, maybe I could definitely do that at some point. I feel like that's something I'd be more apt to do. How do I feel about Wes Nail return? I'll be, like, fine. Like, I thought Wes Nail was a fun character. I don't know if he had anything to bring gameplay-wise, but, like, I don't think he's coming back, though. Like, he has no shot, but, yeah, it would be interesting. Do I think the reunion would be the same as 41-42? Yes. It will be. Like, I don't even think it's, like, I think it's pretty much a guarantee that it will be. Which is disappointing. The Survivor production, like Wes, or was he only cast for Keith? I mean, the thing is that Wes is the one that applied. Like, Wes was the one that was a fan of the show and applied to go on the show. And then, like, Keith was his tag-along.
Come on, lad.
The question is, like, did they cast him because of Keith, and they liked Keith more than him? It's just that, like, Wes was obviously the one that introduced Keith. Like, that I don't fully know, but...
Double time, boy. It's time
yeah, like, it was Wes that was the one that wanted to be on Survivor. So it was kind of like the Brianna David situation, which I would say, like, again, like, I'm not the biggest Juicy Dave fan, but I did feel for him in his, like, final words, where he's, like, really emotional over, like, wanting to win it for Brianna and whatnot. Like, I did feel that kind of touching, I guess.
Again. Do you feel it?
Ramona needs to come back and have redemption. Why not?
Set a course for Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, why was Ramona not on CBS Challenge? Like, what a missed opportunity there.
The faster she goes, the more cumbersome she grows.
Would I rather be stuck on an island with Francesca or Joaquin?
Enjoy this stretch of open water before we come upon
probably neither. Like, I don't know why we're on be with either of them. Amazing Race Legends. Maybe, but it's like, I don't know if they'll ever. I don't think they would ever do it. Like, that's the thing that's tough with, like, Amazing Race seasons just in general, like, doing all-star casting videos, is that they're never doing it. Like, they're not going to do it. Like, they're not, like, again, Amazing Race is not at the same level of Big Brother and Survivor in terms of, and even Big Brother barely does all-star seasons. Like, really, I should say, it's not at the same level as Survivor, where, like, CBS is, like, actively looking at, like, having returning seasons at points in the series history. Like, I don't think Amazing Race is at the point where, like, they're even thinking about doing an all-star season anytime soon. And, like, I don't think Amazing Race is gonna have an all-winner season.
Now, take us through these shallows. Careful not to run up on them.
Because, again, for me, the way I look at it is, like, I don't think CBS cares enough to do an all-winner season that would be Amazing Race. The amount of work it would be to get all these teams together in the way that it was for Survivor. Again, like, even with Survivor, it was a very difficult task for them to get all these winners together. And, like, they even, like, had to up the stipend fee, whatever. They increased, like, the prize money and whatnot. It's like, I don't think they care to do that for Amazing Race. Like, Amazing Race is, like, not their, like, flagship show. to where they would care enough to do something like that for Amazing Race. Wonder what made Survivor so returning focused. I mean, I think it's really, like, the thing is, like, it wasn't for a while. Like, we had the first All-Stars, but then after that, like, there weren't many returnees after that. Like, we had Guatemala, where it was only 2 people, and again, like, Stephanie was, like, a big deal at the time, so it's like, bring her back, whatever. And even that, like, again, it was, like, captain season. And then you don't have returnees again until Fans vs. Favorites. And then after that, you don't have returnees again until Heroes vs. Villains. So it's like, it's not that many returnees in that span. But then, like, immediately after that, I think what happened is that Survivor lost faith in its cast. Because it was starting to cast, or not starting, it had been for a while, but, like, it really went all in on, like, casting these, like, actors and these people that they are, like, casting to be, like, people in bikinis on TV shows. And, like, it's, like, I just think they didn't have faith in their cast to bring entertainment. And because that, they relied so much on returning players, where, like, you have Boss Rob and Russell come back for Redemption Island, you have Coach and Ozzy come back in South Pacific, you have the Medevac people come back in Philippines, you have Fans vs. Favorites 2, you have Blood vs. Water immediately after that with the returnees. Like, there's so many returnees in that span, and I feel like Cagayan is what switched it back, where, like, they loved Cagayan at the time, and they realized that they don't need to rely on returnees anymore if they just cast properly. And then after that, they do it a bit more normally. But then, like, even then, they had Second Chance at 31. They had Game Changers right away because they loved how much Second Chance worked out, and then it backfired on them. And they went back to normal people again, except for Edge of Extinction, where they had a clusterfuck in terms of casting because Lynn Spillman was getting fired and whatnot. Yeah, like, it's like, I feel like it's kind of that, like, dark age of Survivor that really made it a lot more returnee-centric. And I think it's because they lost faith in their casting of the show.
Where the hell you been?
And that's why I think in the modern day, like, even though, like, we're expecting, like, oh, Second Chance 2 and whatnot, it's like, I don't think it's really guaranteed. Like, I think it's likely for, like, 45, 46, probably 46. But, like, I would not be surprised if they're just like, fuck it, we're not doing it until 50 or whatever. Like, I don't think Survivor's, like, that incentivized to do another returning season.
We'd be for getting into a few more scraps.
Good show.
Some clubs that sucks hate that Mark is winning, mainly because Mark made a sexist remark, even though he didn't. I mean, the thing about Mark, like, I don't like the way he treated Sam at the time of the merge. I don't like how dismissive he was of Sam at that point. But again, that doesn't really have any bearing to me in terms of, like, winning the game of Survivor. Though I think it's possible Survivor could cast Rodney without the problematic moments. I mean, I don't think they're... The thing is, like, Rodney was never really in the running to come back. Like, despite how big of a character he was at the time, he wasn't in the casting pool for Second Chance. He wasn't in the casting pool for Game Changers. I just don't think they had an interest in bringing Rodney back. And even now, Rodney's talked about how he doesn't want to come back either. So it's like, I just don't think there's any chance. Don't mind if they casting famous or sexy people as long as they also cast normal people. And the thing is, like, I don't think they're casting normal people now. I feel like, to be honest, like, that's probably one of my biggest criticisms with Survivor's casting now, is that they're not casting normal people. They're casting these people that all, like, went to, like, big league colleges, and these people who are, like, super intelligent in real life, to where, like, I don't think they are casting normal people. Probably the only normal person here is, what, Roxroy?
What the bloody hell was that about?
Like, I don't feel like this cast is a cast of, like, normal people.
Who was he with?
And to be honest, I don't think Survivor's been that way for the last few seasons, at least. I think since Jeff Probst took over, really. I think 39, 41, 42. It's like, I don't feel like they are casting normal people. They're casting these people with, like, big stories that they can prop up in the edit.
Rest assured, there's ample room to add more should you feel the need.
I guess Lydia is probably another one that's, like, closer to a normal person. Andrea's not real. Andrea is, like, this person who was, like, what, professional, not professional athlete, but she was, like, a big hurdler, right? And then she, like someone that was like half blind while hurtling and whatnot. It's like, again, that's like a big story there. Predicting Julie Chen's winner in season rankings. I don't think it's that interesting. Because, like, really, again, like, the thing that makes the Jeff Probst one so interesting to do research on is that there's so much research to be had there. While with Julie Chen doesn't really give her true opinions on Survivor winners or players, where she's always, like, saying, oh, they're good, whatever. Like, she's not really, like, actually going to detail on, like, pretty much anything related to those opinions. Where I think she's a lot, like, I think she pretty much just follows the casual fan base in terms of her opinions on people. Tori is normal. Is she?
Not bad for a spot, Captain.
I wouldn't categorize Tori as normal.
Fast learner, provided something interests me.
Ah, getting a taste for the open sea, are we? We'll make a jet tar out of you yet. Now we should be getting back. The old man is like to have my hide for keeping you out so long.
Yeah, I know Julia's talked about wanting Frenchie back, which is something. And to be honest, it's probably not helping a possibility. I could see them bring back Frenchie at some point.
We need more speed.
Did I see Zach's tweet about Tor? Oh yeah. We're talking about the like her,
Why is he shooting at us?
like things that she was saying to make her look like a nerd or whatever.
Property of the crown, disturbing the king's peace. Take your pick.
What do we do?
Naught else but to fight back. Sink the bastard.
I really hate naval sections in this game. Oh, wrong button. Oh yeah, our favorite player is Claire, definitely. I mean, isn't it the opposite? Isn't there like I don't know, I forgot, like, what was the context of her child of God comment? I thought it was like a... Like, was it her saying she's a child of God, or was it saying that, like, she should be a child of God? Like, I don't remember how that, like, comment was, like, how she actually said it. Oh, fuck off. I keep on forgetting the controls of this. Yeah, this cast is pretty great on social media. Again, Lydia's pretty fun. Like, Zach and, Marianne switched their last names, so that's fun. I don't know why I just did that, but whatever, it worked out anyway.
English.
I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know if Zach is that salty. I mean, to me, it came off as, like, more of, like, him joking around than anything. Or, like, she might have actually said those things, but I don't think he's, like, saying it as, like a fuck you, Tori, for trying to do these things. Oh, is that a thing? I did, like, I opened up Twitter for, like, a second. I did see that tweet from Swati of her saying, what if we did Republicans versus Democrats, but I didn't see that she was getting, like, backlash for it. Which, again, terrible idea. Like, especially in this, like, climate, I just feel like is not, the format, to do. The thing that's funny, too, is that I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, it's, like, it's a different, like, for me, like, the reason to not do it is just because of how much hostility there would be. In terms of, like, obviously the Republicans will be, like, hating on the Democrats will be hating on the Republicans. I'm pretty sure the reason why Twitter would hate it is because they're saying, why are we giving 10 Republicans the chance to be on Survivor? Like, I'm pretty sure that's probably their thing. Jeff did, from what I remember, Jeff did not say he wanted to do a Republicans versus Democrats. I think they asked him if he would do that, and he said no. Because, like, I think it was, like, them giving him themes, and he was, like, had to rank all the themes. I'm pretty sure, Republican versus Democrat was, like, at the bottom. Tough as Nails is doing All-Star season. That's interesting. Again, still haven't watched Tough as Nails. Don't know if I ever will. But, man, it'd be interesting to see them do an All-Star season. That's cool. Cool to see a show like that get to an All-Star season.
Ha! I got him.
Like, they're not doing Republics from scratch, especially like at this point where they got rid of themes. Like, they have no incentive to do it. Like, if they still were,
Who is that man?
like, focusing on like having themes every season and whatnot, then like maybe they would do it. But like, I think at this point, like, they have no reason to do it.
Talk to him if you fancy, but be warned, he'll chew your ear off.
Someone explain the concept of his nails. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I know it's like like kind of one of these more like generic reality shows of like, oh, it's like a lot of it's about like blue collar jobs, right? And like they compete in competitions, and like the bottom two go into an elimination round and whatnot. Like it's like kind of a more generic reality TV like game structure from what I looked at, but yeah, like I don't know what they're actually doing though. The fact they never cast a rival season though is disgusting. Yeah, I mean, again, there's a lot of potential there. I mentioned this earlier that I'm doing this recasting Survivor 40 video now based around like what if it wasn't Winners at War. So because I did a lot of research into Survivor 40's casting process, and I know Russell Hantz has claimed that it was going to be rivals.
I don't think either of us are really
but it's Russell Hantz. Like, I mean, it's again, I can't put much credence to what Russell Hantz says. But I know that's the thing. I did look up Redmond's article on like the casting process of Survivor 40, where he does say that like Old School versus New School was like rumored, but he doesn't think it actually was Old School versus New School. However, he says that like people from seasons 3 through 37 were at least contacted, which we know Lex was contacted. So like that might be the only person from season 3. But it's also interesting that does that mean that like people from seasons 1 and 2 were not? Because like I would have thought like because like wasn't Jenna Lewis talking about how she got the call? But either way, like I also would have expected like Jervis to get the call. I would have expected like Colby. Like obviously we know Tina was in the Winners at War casting process. So it's kind of weird that he only mentions 3 through 37.
Is it safe
And also like weird that like that means no Rick Devens. He's like that also feels like a guaranteed person. I don't know, but like I think so. Again, I did the I did the prep process for that video, and like based on the group that I think was feasible, like I think champions versus like contenders, like that sort of theme feels right for the people they had in contention.
There's not much I can do for us.
Like it just feels like that, like because like even if they weren't going for all winners, it feels like there were so many winners that were so willing to come back, and like so many winners that like I don't see them not calling. So where like to me it makes sense that if they weren't going all out to get all winners, then I think it probably could have been like still like a winners tribe versus a non-winners tribe. So I think that's where I'm leaning with that video, because it's like if it's not all winners, I don't think they can get Boston Rob. I don't think they can get Jeremy. I don't think they would care enough to put on people like a Sarah or a Nick Wilson.
We're almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office.
But it's like, yeah, like I do feel like there's so many winners to bring back. You got like Natalie Anderson, you got Tony, you got Sophie Clark, who was in the running for Game Changers, and now with Aubrey not being in the casting mix, she's the person to bring back. Who else was there? Ben. Mind you, Ben is also a questionable one because like Ben was someone that like needed convincing to come back for 40. But still, like I feel like they probably would have gotten Ben back. You got Sandra, who would have come back for anything at that point. Wendell. Like I mean, there's a lot of like returning people, like people that are possible returnees for that season that are winners just already. Like not even seeking out to be an all winners season. So like I could see like if 40 went through without being Winners at War, I think it would have still involved a lot of winners anyway. I don't think Sandra's coming back willy-nilly nowadays. Again, there was a point where like after pretty much after Heroes vs. Villains, she like was I would come back for anything. And like had been that way up until Winners at War. And after Winners at War she said, "Oh, I'm retiring," only for the shop on Blood versus Water. But I think at the end of the day, it probably comes down to more of a paycheck thing than it does her whether or not she wants to come back or not to like actually play. Because like I'm realistic, I think Sandra knows she's not winning like Survivor ever again. Like I think she knows her trajectory on most seasons nowadays. And while she'll obviously try to avoid that if she does play, like I think she knows that like it's probably not going to end well. But I think she's willing to still play if they pay her enough.
Seriously, Sean?
Do I have BBCAN10 as the best BB season? I think I would debate it at this point. I think it's for sure the best BBCAN season. And yeah, I think it, like, I don't know, the more time goes on, I think I would have it above BB10. Yeah, like, I think Nina is someone that we're going to see on Australian Survivor next time they have a returning season. The fact that she even, like, didn't she just visit Australia? Which, like, that seems like pretty, like, I don't know, bold to do? I don't know. Like, considering, how much money that probably was. And, like, how there's not really a reason specifically to do it. Or, like, there's no reunion show for this season. Or at least we assume that there isn't. So, like, kind of weird that she just, like, out of the blue, like, flies back to Australia. So that makes me feel like she's probably more, like, she is actually invested in trying to play, Australian Survivor again.
Shut up, Sean.
Becca from Team Fun for Survivor? I don't think so. Unless they do a reality showdown season. Outside of that, I don't know why they would be that incentivized to bring her back. Fuck off. What? Whatever. You'd have BBCAN 1, or BBCAN 1 if Ika or Dem won. To me, that would have made the season worse, for me personally. I do think Kevin winning to me was a more ideal situation from like an entertainment standpoint. But I think that's part of what makes the season as great as it is, that you have this more like underdog figure that essentially breaks the game. And you can tell how much like Kevin wants it also. Where I still think like Kevin's speech at like during the jury questioning is still probably one of my favorite moments in BBCAN. Lost Judgment DLC is out? Is it? The Kaido one? So yeah, I have not played it. And also, it's not going to be included in my Lost Judgment video because my Lost Judgment video is already made. Yeah, I did not expect that DLC to come out before the video, but it is what it is. But I would be interested in playing it. Kaido's a fun character. From what I understand, it's like a more personalized story to him and everything, so yeah, it would be interesting playing it. Doc from the tester on Survivor. Why not? Let's see how it goes. Would I be interested in the Survivor invasion concept? No, I would not. I really wouldn't. If we're talking about like Invasion of the Champions, then no, I think that's like worst case scenario. It's just actually considering nominate Kevin. I don't know. Like, I haven't been following the feeds today. But yeah, I don't think that's their ideal move. But not that Kevin is like super loyal to Jess. I mean, Kevin was willing to cut her had she been on the block. Like, he even wanted just to go home over Kyle. Technically, just knew that he couldn't really do it. So it's like it's not like Kevin's like that strong of an ally. But I do feel like Jess would be more solidly placed in a power structure if she was to keep Kevin around. Again, based on the information I had before today. Again, I have not paid attention to the feeds from today. Yeah, I get the sense that Doc was like a reality TV fan. And to be fair, it's like, how hard is it to create the concept of an alliance? But yeah, like,
That wasn't so bad.
that's something that, like, I don't think Doc would do that well on,
Not exactly what I expected,
on Survivor.
But I guess your kind doesn't.
Tyler and Corey dropped off the face of the planet. Have they?
Who are
Aren't
you?
they both, like, big social media people?
Now give me that.
Do I think challenges run out of themes? I don't think they've run out. I just don't think they're looking for themes.
But the boss.
I mean, like, when we had, like, Spy... Like, really, when was the last time we had a true theme season? It was War of the Worlds 2, right? Because, like, since then, it's just been, like, generic, like, season, but, like, different aesthetic. Or, like, the last time we had, like, a casting theme was War of the Worlds 2 with UK versus US.
So who the hell is Daniel Cross?
I mean, like, I do think Kevin brought up to Jess the other day, like, the night she won HOH, that they should create a alliance with, like, Gino, JC, Marty, Helena,
They must have caught me snooping.
and
so the
Josh,
network
right?
has
I think that was, like,
see
the
what we were
7.
after. If they were aware of our current location, we'd know. Though.
But then, like, at the end of the day, like, I think the thing about Jess that's so tough is that she's just on the bottom. Like, I think no matter what, she's going to be on the bottom. Like, they don't really have, like, much leverage here. And, like, I don't know if a player like Jess can really make them, like, get that much leverage. Like, I don't think Jess is that good of a player. I think that's the issue. Because I think no matter where she goes, like, she's always going to be at the bottom. And I don't think they're a good enough player to not be at the bottom. So, like, I don't really know what her, like, ideal move really, like, actually is. Because, like, no one's actually loyal to them. Like, they don't have anyone to go to. Especially someone that doesn't have other people that they're more loyal to.
We sought to face the sun's wrath and contain it.
And Nisa for Survivor, I think I'm good.
To pull
I don't need to see a Nisa on Survivor.
And dispel it. But even with all we knew,
Why do people think T is a mastermind? Again, like, we talked about this last stream. I think, like, a lot of it comes down to T just not talking game with the majority of the house, but she's, like, a very social person and, like, builds and, like, tries to build one-on-one bonds, but also, like, from the outset, from these people that she's not talking game to, she sees that she's super close to people like a Betty and a Summer and perceived to be close to, like, a Moose and a Herman and whatnot. And, like, because of these perceptions, they're assuming that, oh, she must be, like, the mastermind over there. That she's, like, keeping this group together. She's the person that's, like, yeah, like, they're just assuming she's a better player than what she is because they perceive her to be in, like, a really close alliance with Moose and Herman, when in reality she's not really. Yeah, like, Jess is pretty fucked regardless. Like, I don't know where they're really going. But this was the week to solidify something. Which I don't think they've done. Again, I don't know what they've done today. But from what I've seen, they haven't really done much to solidify their position.
Perhaps we might rebuke it.
Who's the most forgettable Survivor player? I mean, like, it would be someone that I wouldn't remember right away, right? I mean, the thing is, like, I don't think I'm the person to ask because I remember everyone. Like, I've said this before, like, I 100% can do, like, Rob's sister Nino did this, like, stream where, like, oh, I'm gonna name every Survivor player. It's like, I'm pretty confident I can do that, like, pretty easily. Like, I don't think that would be that difficult for me. Like, obviously it would take time.
Even this we could not do.
But, like, there's no one that I, like, completely forget.
They cried.
So, like, I don't know if I'm the person to really ask.
Perhaps in time a city might be spared. But it was time.
Do you have 15,000? I could do it, like, really at any point. Just taking the time to do it. So I'm from Thailand. I don't know. I'm like, for me, it's like the season plays out like so. because it's only 16 people, and you have like a very solid, because like the way that I remember things, I remember placements. I remember like who is the first boot from this tribe, who is the whatever. Like I remember like these sort of things. So like for me, I feel like someone that I would forget more so is like on a season for like multiple swaps, like maybe someone from like Gabon, but like even then, like I don't think it's necessarily the case. And I feel like every survivor, like I can't think of a survivor player that I don't have like something that would make me remember them, even though they are looked at as pretty forgettable. I do think Candace from Tokachis is probably like a decent answer though. Like Erica from Fiji is one that like comes to mind, but it's one that to me I remember as the most forgettable person. Because of that, I do remember them. Again, Mary from Micronesia is kind of the same thing, where like the fan base looks at Mary from Micronesia as like Mary who, but it's like because of that I remember Mary. Yeah, Mariah I think is gonna be super forgettable as time goes on. I'm to be honest, Mariah might be already be the answer for me at this point. Yeah, like I don't think I can do first and last names at this point. I definitely could at one point in Survivor, like at one point in like my fandom of Survivor. Like I feel like around the time of like Millennials vs. Gen X, I think I could name every single person first and last name. I'm at the point now where I don't think I could do that, but I can definitely do first name.
I know everyone thinks I'm being silly, but I can't shake the feeling we're being watched.
We are being watched.
Rank fire making challenge? I already plan on doing that.
Or some version of her.
The problem with that video is I can't do it now because it won't come out before 42, and then obviously now with every Survivor season, that we're guaranteed to get fire making challenge. So I don't think. What if all fire making challenges were normal vote offs? I don't think it's that interesting. We're talking about forced fire making. I can run through them super quick right now.
But do you think she's like?
You got HHH, Ben goes home, 3-1 vote. You got Ghost Island, same result, 2v2 tie, goes to fire making anyway. You got 37, Kara goes home, unanimous vote, where she probably votes for Mike. You got 38. At that point, Chris doesn't win it, or doesn't give up immunity. They vote out Rick Devens unanimously. I think at that point you question, like, does Chris still win? But I think for the most part, like, that situation plays out normally. 39, they just vote out Lauren, 3-1 vote. And then 40, 2v2, it's probably Tony versus Michelle in fire making, which Tony maybe loses. What am I doing? I guess I have to go back in, or should I talk to people? Then 41, Deshaun goes home, right?
Ah, Desmond, there you are. Can I ask a favour?
Maybe.
When this is all over, I'd like to try.
Flicka, I think Flicka's definitely one of the more forgettable people.
Like, all the way back.
Yeah, to be honest, probably Cook Island. Cook Island's a pretty good season for like forgettable people.
It would work?
I feel like Rebecca from Cook Island's also another pretty forgettable one.
Then again, that was about 1,000 years ago. And
yeah, I remember Paloma.
70,000 more.
I feel like I remember her like rivalry with
Be interesting to see what things were like back then.
with Ace.
I think it would prove most enlightening.
Can I spell every first name? I think so, but there might be like, I don't know, like there might be like a random name here or there that like maybe I get like 2 letters mixed up or something. But like I feel like I probably could. Like I can definitely like in terms of like the different like spellings of like John. Like I feel like I would know who's like Jon and who is John and that sort of thing.
Son,
do I like fire making challenge on Immunity Island? No.
I shouldn't have lashed out.
I don't like fire making challenge at any point outside Final Four.
I've never been very good at this. Never mind that we live rather extraordinary lives.
Vanuatu.
I kind of liked my ordinary one.
Maybe someone like Lisa Kiefer's another one that like gets brought up. So but I feel like because of RHAP and because of like evolution strategy, I remember Lisa Kiefer more.
Like this. I admit.
But Lisa Kiefer would be probably a good answer.
Raising you.
Realistically.
I apologize. I'm sorry. But it's important you understand it didn't come from a bad place. You're my son. I love you.
When Xander and Deshaun vote Erica, no. Because at that point, like, why would... Because, like, if Xander actually wanted to vote out Erica, he would have just put her in fire making in a normal situation. Like, why would he cause a tie with Deshawn in this situation when he didn't even want Erica to go to fire in the real life situation? Like, the entire point was that he didn't want Erica to go to fire because, like, he was worried that Erica was going to win the fire making challenge and that, at that point gain more like respect from the jury. So it's like, why would he even cause a tie? Like, he would just vote with Erica and vote out Deshawn.
Always assuming the worst.
Well, some from Battle of the Bush play Survivor again? They are.
I'm sorry.
In Return of the Outcast.
Maybe when we're done.
Right.
Like, a lot of them are, right? Like, there's like 3 or 4 people, right? There's Tajan, Shona, Tony, and that might actually be it. But either way, like, there's people that are playing Survivor again. In terms of the U.S. side of things, I don't remember who exactly was there, but wasn't Wendell one of those? I could see Wendell playing again. Down the road. I don't think he's someone that's like immediate, though.
Throughout our history, there have been
who else was on Battle of the Bush?
Several, in fact. But it's impossible. There are existential differences.
Bob was there. I forgot about that.
If there were to be unity, it wouldn't
who
be
won? Actually, I just realized, I don't even know who won Battle of the Bush. Who won Battle of the Bush?
Knowing what's about to happen, wouldn't it make sense to try and talk to Vidic? Come to an arrangement, even if it's only temporary?
Like, I know Bryce didn't win Battle of the Bush.
Nothing would get accomplished.
And I don't think Wendell did either. But, like, I don't remember who actually did win Battle of the Bush. Yeah, Bob wants to play again. He's just never going to.
Doing to them what they did to us with Lucy or Cross?
If I had to guess one theme for 50, would I say Legends? I think Legends, like, realistically, I think it'll be a generic All-Star season. But I think it will have a lot of people that are on the, like, Legends scale.
I just feel like we all want the same thing.
Like, really, it'll probably be, like, game changers. But, like,
in the end, it all comes down to freedom.
Like, not game changers in terms of how they cast, but game changers in the sense of, like, that's the type of name they're going to go for. Where, like, I don't think it'll be just Survivor Legends.
Probably not.
Like, they'll come up with, like, a more unique title than that. I did not mean to stop the conversation, but whatever. But, like, because, like, from my understanding, that's what 40 was going to be as well, was that it was going to be this more generic All-Star season, but then just given, like, a fancy name. Legends at War? Why not? How old is Bob? I think he's probably, like, 70 by now, right? How old is Bob? No, he's not 70. Oh no, he is. He's 71. I didn't realize he was that old. Holy shit.
Strings and moving pieces. History dictates they seek order through control. But how will they affect it here? Who supports them? And what conspiracies have they already spun?
I'm trying to look up the list of people that were on Battle of the Bush. There we go, finally. Yeah, US was Bob, Ramona, Wendell. I did not remember Jill from Nicaragua was part of that group. That I didn't have any memory of. Jimmy T, Bryce, Desi. I mean, Desi's on Challenge CBS, so that's something. And then Tina, Timber Tina.
Sorry.
We'll have to work on this.
So yeah, it's only Tony, Tajan, and Shona from SA that are on Return of the Outcasts.
Yes, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, this is not a very likely group of returnees from the U.S. side of things.
For now.
I think Wendell is, like, somewhat likely if he has the time.
Men came claiming we had to leave. They said that the land was
really, to be honest, everyone else I don't think is coming back. Bob is not coming back. Ramona, I think, like, maybe if they really wanted someone from Borneo, but I just feel like there's other people to cast. Jill is not coming back. Jimmy T is not coming back. Bryce, I would love to see back, but I don't think it's happening at this point, considering he's never been in the casting process for a returning season. Desi, again, like we're seeing on CBS, Challenge CBS, so maybe, but still not super likely. And Timbertina, like, I don't know if she's on their radar.
I made a promise to my people.
Am I surprised Tina didn't come back? Not really. Again, like, First Boot is not super likely to come back. Unless they're, like, actively trying to do something around that theme. But, I think Timbertina would have been interesting to see back, though.
What have you done?
Kim Johnson's 77.
When my people go to war, a hatchet is buried into a post to signify its start.
Bryce seems desperate. I mean, I think he is. I mean, I love Bryce, but like, I mean, he is very desperate to be playing Survivor again. Jimmy T for early boots, I would love to see it. I think it'd be hilarious. I mean, Jimmy T is one of my favorite pre-merge characters. So what am I doing right now? Should I do main story, or like the intention is that I do plan on doing side stuff. Probably not like everything, but like kind of like at least dabble into everything, I think. I think we'll probably just do main. All right, let's do this homestead mission. Why not? Let's see how this goes. Is Sonya in her 90s? Actually, I guess she was like her 60s already at the time of Borneo, right? Like late 60s. Jimmy T is the second best pre-swap character behind Crazy Dave. Again, like I think those are two good picks there. Again, I've never actually made that list personally, but like yeah, those are definitely two of my top people. Have I watched the Purple Pants podcast? I have watched certain episodes. I'm not a constant listener though. Like I skimmed through the podcast he did with Shan. Then like I did listen to like the first like few that he did, and then like there's like a couple points like here and there where like I dabble into it to like see what he's talking about, but like for the most part I've not like consistently listened to it. 50 isn't Legends or Second Chance. I want it to be pre-merge versus post-merge. Maybe. I think if it's not, I think most likely if there isn't a Second Chance until 50, then 50 will probably be Second Chance. Like, I think no matter what, whatever the next returnee season that we get, I think will probably be Second Chance. It's just a matter of when they're actually doing Second Chance. I've not played Dragon's Dogma. I do really want to. I own it, and I always had the intention of playing it. I just haven't gotten around to it. Watched a horror movie called X. What is it about? Let's see. A slasher film, 2020. Follows a cast and crew who gather to make a pornographic film on an old couple's rural Texas property, but get caught and find their lives at risk. That's something. Yeah, I mean, looks like it got good reviews, so that's something. Don't know if I'll ever get around to watching it, but we'll see. Why does everyone in 41 hate Shan? Does everyone hate Shan? I know Ricard and Shan had a falling out. I don't know if everyone hates Shan. Oh, fuck off. Pull up your... Thank you there. What the fuck is that? Casting Game Changers 2. I mean, the problem is that, like, Game Changers 1 wasn't a proper Game Changers. Like, really, at that point, like, we're just saying cast another All-Star season. What? What's counter in this game? It is circle. Yeah, why didn't it counter? How did it desync? I wasn't paying attention. Like, whatever. Joe and Julie from... we're 53 years apart. Oh, you're talking about Julia Sokolowski? Either way. Yeah, I can see that. It was what? He was like, what, 72, right? And yeah, she was 19, so... What happened to Shan Ricard? We don't know. For sure. I would assume for both of them it's an ego thing. But we don't actually fully know. Like, I think it's like kind of a similar thing to like Amanda and Parvati. Wait, how did I get up there the first time? Whatever. Well, we see 16-year-olds on 43 and 44. We might see like one or two. I don't think it's going to be like a full cast of them, but we might see like a token 16-year-old on there. Which again, don't want to. But you don't know about Manta and Parvati falling out? I mean, that was even before Heroes vs. Villains. Where we don't even know why exactly they're not friends anymore. Fuck off. Who's the youngest Survivor winner? I believe it's, like, I don't know the exact dates of everything. I think it's probably Fabio, though, right? But, like, obviously it's between Fabio and Jenna. They're both were 21. But yeah, we don't know, I mean, they do know out there. So I don't know which one was actually younger, but I suspect it was Fabio. Because I do remember talk of, like, oh, Fabio's now the new youngest winner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm talking about age at the time of their win. But I can't believe Tommy is as young as he is. That's so mind-blowing to me. Like, Tommy's not even 30 yet, right?
What did they want?
Like, how? Like, no offense to Tommy, but I really thought he was, like, at least 30 when he first played. He's only 29 now.
Silly, really.
It's like, how is that a thing? Yeah, Chris Underwood is older, I think by a year. I think they're around the same age, though. Oh, no, they are the same age, actually. But
have you no home?
When's the birthday? Yeah, literally 20 days. They're 20 days apart. Chris Underwood's 20 days older.
I was forced out of my woodshop and home by loyalists.
There are plenty around here who could use the services of a skilled craftsman if you were looking for somewhere to settle.
Is that right?
Thought Tommy was 35. Yeah, again, like I if you were to like show me Tommy when he played 39 and ask me like how old is he, I would say like 32, 33. He was like 26. Yeah, and like Wendell's another one. Like you would expect Wendell to be younger than what he is. He's this person that's like been trying to get on Survivor for forever. Like he had been trying to get on since I think Redemption Island, right? Like around that time. So it took him like years to get on their show. So I guess it makes sense that he was already like 35 or whatever when he eventually got on. Favorite Big Bang Theory episode? I haven't watched the Big Bang Theory. Or at least I have watched like episodes here and there, but like not really my show. Yeah, he was applying. I think wasn't he even in law school when he first applied? Like I know I've seen his like first audition video, and like he had like a shaved head, and I think he was still in law school at that point or something. What am I doing right now? I just realized. Yeah, because I'm not doing. Let's do these. Young Sheldon is at almost 100 episodes. How? Like I don't get how how like Young Sheldon is still doing really well ratings wise, or at least well enough for them to continue doing it. Has Mind Bialik applied for Survivor? I doubt it. But we do know she is a fan. I doubt she's applied. Oh, this is Cyclopedia of the Common Man. Ugh.
Connor, it has occurred to me that the times we live in will
How old is Earl? I mean, Earl's like 50 now, right? He's another one that like was already like decently old. Like he was already like mid-30s, I believe, when he first played. Yeah, he's 50 exactly right now. Actually, he's about to turn 51. Like, he's literally like what, 2 weeks away?
This time of transition. Something to help color the portrait. What do you think?
Yeah, so he was 35 when he won Fiji. It's insane that Dreams is like 40, isn't it? I forgot all that until just now. Because like Dreams is 10 years younger than Earl, so that means Dreams is 40. Think Will Neff will make it on Survivor? Probably not. And I don't expect it to go that well. Like the more, like, I don't know, Will Neff, like, I'll say, like, I don't think he gets the game. And to be fair, I don't think he cares to get the game. But like, yeah, I don't see him as someone that will do particularly well.
Can you help me?
Especially when it comes down to the end game where you have to make more savvy game decisions and whatnot. I ever watched Scooby-Doo when I was a kid.
You all right?
And also, I watched like I used to love what was it, 2003 maybe? What year was that?
This was their answer.
The live action one. Like that was like one of my favorite movies as a kid, even though it's fucking terrible. 2002. Yeah, like that was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
You be able to make it to the house?
I haven't watched it in years at this point. Do I own it?
I think the ball took only flesh.
I think I own it on DVD. Yeah.
Miriam.
On Blu-ray.
Do you live nearby?
It'd be funny to watch it now. I think I had that on my list of video ideas. Was to do a retrospective of it this year, and I cut it. But it would be funny to do.
No, it's not. But truth be told, it was this, the convent or the brothels.
Okay, cool. Earl started a charity for prize winning. Good on him. Frank Sweeney applied. Yeah, I know he's someone that's also a Survivor fan, but again, don't think he would actually get on Survivor. I don't know. Like, I do wonder, like, how they view people like that. I mean, I guess we do have Jonathan, right? That's on this season from Endurance. So it's like, I guess they would, like, be okay with bringing back these people that have already been on reality shows in the past. But, least favorite video from my channel from 2009. I will say, I did actually just rewatch my Edge of Extinction review, and what a train wreck that video is. Like, what the fuck was that video? Dude, a lot. I feel like a lot. I did also rewatch my Who Would I Vote For video, which I do want to redo. That's a video I'm going to try to make one by the end of this year. And redo Who Would I Vote For. Not necessarily because, like, again, like, most of my decisions are the same from that video. But there's, like, what, 5 seasons to add to that after 42 is done. And then also, I just feel like I can better explain things in that video. So I probably will redo it. The Gavin Ray, I turned it off before the Gavin Ray. It was just so bad before that I was like, I can't watch this. It's so funny too because, like, I'm pretty sure I had a script. Yeah, it like 100% sounds like I do not have a script. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened during the recording of that video. I don't remember if it was like a thing where, like, I just, like, kept on adding shit, like, as I was recording it, because, like, it's a mess. Like, it's really a mess of a video where, like, I'm just jumping around, like, all over the place. Do I hate Gavin? No, I'm actually much higher on Gavin's game at this point than I was. I mean, I still agree with my complaints on him, where, like, he is a player that's, like, actively playing a passive game. But I don't have much fault with that at this point, as much as I did back then. How many episodes in Glass House? I don't think that many. If I remember, I think it's only like 10 or 12. Like, it's not a super long show. Surprised that Kayla's on CBS Challenge? Yeah, me too. Definitely not the first person to come to mind. I'm finding out both Kyle Moore's are 4th boots. I mean, yeah, I noticed that. I don't know if it's funny. It's just like a weird thing that happens. Is AU Marley a better player than Ty? No. Or, like, I don't think Marley's that... Like, I think if Marley was on Survivor US or Canada, he would be torn apart. Yeah, oh, by the way, I didn't talk about that. I have gotten caught up on my Australian Survivor review. Obviously outside of today's episode. But, it's an hour and 50 minutes already. It's way too long. Again, there's still 4 more episodes, and also the, like, rundown of the final 3 and whatnot. It's like, there's way too, like, why is this video so long? But whatever.
Hey! Where are you?
But yeah, like I think videos like the Edge of Extinction review and the but I'm really, like, realistically, with my channel, I do feel like Winners at War for me feels like the start, the true start of the channel. In terms of like, that's kind of where like I kind of got a better sense of what I want to do with the channel, and like the type of like just how in detail I want to go with my videos. Where like I feel like before that, like a lot of those videos at this point, like I want to redo. Because like I fuck, what was I trying to say there? I feel like I would put a lot more I mean I guess maybe my like Assassin's Creed series ranking is probably one that like I put a lot more work into, but like even then like I want to redo that now, even before that. I mean even beyond that, but or like I feel like now I would do because like in that video like I kind of did the ranking as if like they were all like mini reviews instead of like doing a more proper ranking. But yeah, like videos used to be so short. Where like I'm looking back at my old videos, like I think outside of I remember like at the time I did my Assassin's Creed series rank, I was like, holy shit, this video is massive. It's 45 minutes. But like I think my Edge of Extinction review, which was like 35 minutes, was like my longest video at that point, except for that Assassin's Creed ranking. And then yeah, it's not until my winner ranking that I get an over hour-long video. And even then, like, if I were to do it now, it would be at least 2 hours, probably. Yeah, season ranking was 52 minutes. Yeah, like, my Amazing Race 1 retrospective was 10 minutes. Yeah, like, just in general, like, I feel like I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with the channel up until that point. I mean, like, I did, but it's just, like, I feel like I changed the way I want to approach the channel around the time the Winners at War ended. I feel like I think we're getting to like, I think actually probably not when it ended, probably like around the time it started actually, because I'm looking at it now, it's like around the time that like I did the preseason power ranking. I think that's kind of where I had a better grasp on where I wanted to go. I mean, yeah, like when I have like the Borneo retrospective. My All-Stars review for Australian Survivor was over an hour long at that point. Yeah, like I feel like at that point I kind of had a better sense of what I want to do with the reality TV videos. I still think with the game videos, I still didn't go as in depth as I really wanted to until probably like the end of 2020. Where I feel like it probably wasn't until like the Life is Strange retrospective that I went as in depth as I really wanted to. Or that I would nowadays. Okay, I'm trying to look up my videos based on like on my actual on the main page of my channel, but like it's fucked because everything's ordered weirdly. But whatever. What change would I make from the who would I vote for? Not many. Because like I've been running through them recently because again I'm intending on making this immediately after 42, so I was like kind of just thinking through my head of like what would I change. It's like I mean I would still vote for Rich. I would vote for Tina, Ethan. I think the Vesepi and Nalia one's still really tough. I'd probably lean Nalia still though. Though I feel like I would have a different reason for siding with Nalia now than what I did at the time. Obviously Brian. I think Jenna. I think I might go Jenna now over Matthew. Because like the thing is like I think Matthew has a better end game, but even then like his end game's not particularly great. While like I feel like Jenna had a much stronger first 2/3 of her game, with a disastrous back third of the game. But like it's still like a better first 2/3 than like any of Matthew's games. So I think I probably would go Jenna now. And I feel like at the time I put like so much credence into like Jenna wanting to quit at the end. I feel like that was the reason why like I was like so anti wanting Jenna to win. But I don't think I care as much anymore. But yeah, Sandra over Lil, obviously Rob over Amber. Chris versus Twyla is interesting. I think I would go Chris now over Twyla. I think at the time I went Twyla.
Very well.
I think at this point I would go Chris, just because I don't look at Twilight as dominant of a figure as I did at the time, and then also I feel like Chris does things along the way to undercut Twyla. Is there stuff I'm going to cut from the Blood vs. Water review? I have not at this point. I actually haven't cut anything out, and to me, a lot of that's kind of laziness on my end, more so than like purposeful. Where like there probably are things I should cut out. I just don't know if I'm actually going to, just because like I don't know. I'll see. Like I'll probably actually, because I have about a week. So maybe I will like rewatch the video and just like cut some things out. Because like there is like a lot of extra stuff that doesn't need to be there. It's like maybe I'll cut stuff out, but again, like if I'm cutting something out, that means that like there was no reason for it to be there to begin with. Like usually, especially with these sort of videos, where like I'm making, like I'm trying to make it a grander video in the sense that it relates to the entire season by making it as the season goes on. That leads to like me mentioning a lot of things that don't end up having that much relevance. So yeah, like with that, it's like I'm cutting things because like they aren't important. Like it's not because like it's like I'm not cutting anything that's like that important to the video. The Academy does not condone violence of any form. Yeah, it's something. Again, what a weird, like, again, if this is real, like, what a bizarre moment. Like, what a bizarre thing that Will Smith just randomly fucking slaps Chris Rock. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. I guess we'll just do the main story. Where am I at in the story? So he just became an assassin. So, is this the William Johnson sequence? Do I think Return of the Outcast will have Final 2 or Final 3? Probably Final 3 or 2. Probably 2. We're at 18. No, actually, we are 20 people, right? I think it could go either way. I would prefer Final 2, obviously, but like I think they could do either one. If it was 18 people, I think I would probably lean more so towards Final 2. But it is 20 people, so they could do either one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like my EOE review, there's just like so much that I don't talk about that like a lot of those videos from earlier on, I would 100% redo at this point. And I intend on redoing it at some point when. But I feel like when it comes to reality TV videos, like everything I've made post Winners at War season review, in terms of like the reviews and retrospectives, I feel a lot more like content on. And to be honest, that's like kind of the way I look at the season now. I look at the like season retrospectives now, is that like I want them to be definitive, where I want them to be videos that I don't have to ever do again. And that's why I do go in as much detail as I do.
Hello again. What brings you to Boston?
Am I almost 2 hours? I didn't realize that. I'm almost 2 hours in this now. Okay, so again, stream's been going fine then, since the crash.
Thank you.
Media Island had 20 people that had a Final 2.
Now,
yeah.
What can I
Again,
do
like
for
I
you?
think with 20, like it could go either way. I think with 18, it's like pretty much guaranteed there's a Final 2.
I'm headed to a meeting with some men who should be able to help. Why don't you come along? It's good to see the people finally taking a stand against injustice.
Says the man who owns a slave.
Ooh, sorry.
But actually, I actually do like that.
Preach, my friend.
Like I kind of like that they don't tell them it's a Final 3. Because I think something that makes the Final 2 great is that it makes people play more self-interestedly. Where like the problem with the Final 3 is that at that point you just need a 3-person group. You don't need to be as solidified in having a Final 2 to get to the end of the game, because I do think players play a bit more passively once they have a core 3. Like I think something like the Game Changers comes to mind to me, with like Sarah Lucina and Brad and Troyzan. It's like if it was a Final 2, Sarah Lucina has no reason to go with Brad and Troy to the end, but because she knows it's the Final 3, then she has no incentive to turn on Brad and Troy at the end. Well, I feel like with not knowing it's going to be a Final 3, it does add a lot more interesting dynamics there, where it does incentivize you to play a bit more actively. I did not watch Secret Saboteurs.
Open this door or these men will break it down.
I kind of forgot about it. Hey, Bryce.
Trust the mounting evidence is
just talking about random stuff.
Continue on.
Watch episode 1 Champions. Did Shona annoy the shit out of you? Did she? I always liked Shona. Like, to me, she was always like a fun pre-merge, sort of like a spoiler. Oh, I am too fresh. She's on the fucking pre-merge tribe. Or whatever. I always found her to be a likable figure on the show. Like, I feel like she's one of these people that, like, would have been, like, not BB Twitter, but, like, Survivor Twitter, I guess, would be in love with at the time. But, like, because, obviously, SA Champions didn't really get much recognition, and, like, no one really cared.
I'm fine. It's not my first dance. For all their teeth and claws.
Pretty much every Final 3 has a player that doesn't deserve to be there. And to me, again, like, deserves, like, whatever.
Thank you, my friend.
Like, really, I don't think anyone deserves anything. But in terms of, like, usually every Final 3 has someone that doesn't play as much as the others. And to be fair, also, like, I mean, at this point, it's, like, gotten to the point where, like, usually you're against 2 other GOATs. Usually it's, like, one person that has, is usually the front runner, and then you have 2 other people that aren't, as likely to win. Someone got voted out 15-1 at a joint tribal. Yeah, I think that'll be enough against your game. Again, 15-1's pretty bad. I'd like to see Jean A on Challenge 38. Not really. Really. I mean, like, I feel like I'm good for just being on All-Stars. But, I mean, like, if All-Stars is never coming back, then, like, why not? But I'm not like, I need to see Jean A back. Did I ever play sports as a kid? I did play basketball for a year or 2. Never was any good, but that's the thing that happened. I think HHH had 3 deserving finalists. To be honest, if there's 3 deserving finalists, then probably something went wrong. Because I think the best players out there more than likely don't get to the end with someone that is quote-unquote deserving. Like, obviously HHH is like a weird circumstance because of the last second twist. But even then, I mean, even if it was Devin instead of Ben, it still would have been equally as good on Tribal. And from BBCAN10 was on South African version of Big Brother stir things up. The viewers called them white chocolate. Okay.
Connor,
I feel like I do remember hearing about Emmett being on another version of Big Brother, but yeah, that just sounds weird.
And the manager and chef of his newest venture, Stéphane Chaffeau.
Ah, Connor and I just had a ball with some red goats enforcing some taxmen outside my home.
The collectors grow bolder and more forceful.
Yeah, like, I mean, realistically, like, in this situation where you're against 2 other people that are good competition, you more than likely, like, either had, like, things go get, like, had unlucky circumstances, or you just didn't play as optimally as you could have. Where in most situations, you should be able to get to the end against 2 people that, if you are a great player, you should be able to get to the end against 2 people who don't have the chance against you.
Off the ships. One of his men tried to sell me this. A sample of what I refused, but it's from those.
Again, obviously there are like luck-based circumstances that deter that,
Must be
but
he's making a mint off those who buy it. Where is he now? I've never met the man.
Like,
May I ask why you seek him, Connor?
He intends
what's
to
the
purchase
second
the
part
land
of the
upon which
question?
my village stands.
Did Dom ever try to get Wendell out? He never had the opportunity.
No doubt the revenue from his little
Well, Wendell
smuggling
had the opportunity
endeavor
and
is
never took it.
financing the acquisition.
Like, that's another reason why I do prop up Dominic's game more than Wendell, is because Dom has talked about how he would have taken the shot had he ever had the opportunity, but he never did, because Wendell always had immunities, and he also had the idol at most situations. While Wendell explicitly, Wendell knew about Dominic's fake idol plan at the Final Six. Like, Wendell could have just voted out Dominic at Final Six, and just doesn't. So yeah, like, I think if Dominic had the chance, I think he would have voted out Wendell. I don't think Wendell would have done the same thing back. Would Natalie be the Queen Survivor if she won Winners at War? Probably not. Because, I mean, I think Sandra's always going to be called the Queen Survivor, and also it's like, I don't know, like, Winners at War is, was not a good game. I mean, what a disastrous outcome that would have been, though, for Natalie Anderson to win Winners at War. In the way that she did, obviously. Like, if she had, like, been in the game the entire time, then it's fine, but, yeah, for her to, like, literally be on the edge most of the season, come back at the very end, and then not even do anything after she comes back. She literally plays 2 idols back-to-back and then wins Final Immunity. It's literally, like, the worst-case scenario. Would voting Dominic actually done any good for Wendell? Yes. Again, at Final 6, if you vote out Dominic at 6, Wendell has the idol at 5. He's automatically in the Final 4. In the Final 4 where they know fire-making exists. So, and he is the best fire-making person there. So he essentially guarantees his win by voting out Dominic at Final 6, but then doesn't. And instead has a face-off against Dominic at the end where he barely wins and wins due to luck-based circumstances, where a lot of the jury votes, even coming into the final tribal, weren't towards him. Where Dominic had 5 locked jury votes. He needed to literally get everyone else, and again, Angela votes like a clusterfuck. So it's like, and to me, that's probably like the biggest knock against Wendell's game, is that he never takes the shot at Dominic, even though he had the shot. Favorite Peridian video? I don't fucking know. Like, I legitimately couldn't even tell you one right now. In terms of, like, what's actually, like, in the video. Like, I know the titles and whatnot, but, like, in the topics, but, like, I don't remember any of his actual videos. How they know about fire? Production told them. Because again, like, this is a situation where, like, HHH had already filmed, and they, like, Survivor Production obviously knew that it was going to air before that, so, like, they didn't want to surprise, like, there was no purpose in surprising the players, so they just told them before the season that, yeah, we changed the rules, there's fire making now. I have not seen Peridian's season ranking for Big Brother. Excuse me? What a masterpiece. Whatever. Yeah, production told them about fire making on Ghost Island. Okay, let's just... Obviously, they hadn't seen it before, so they didn't know exactly how it worked. But yeah, they were told fire making, winner of immunity, pick someone else the other two go to fire. Alright, it was 15-1 where the host basically told the cast you were cheating even though you weren't. It's like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, oh. I don't know what there really is to say about that. Am I familiar with the show called The Quest? I know of it, and I watched, like, the first episode of it, but I haven't watched it. Outside of that. Is that really the case? Coda's the first, or Apple TV's the first streaming service to win Best Picture? What won Best Picture last year? I don't even remember. I thought last year would have been it, but well. No, Ashley's the first boot, but she's surprisingly playing decent. I mean, she's fine. I mean, she's like attached to Xavion, and like obviously goes home because she's attached to Xavion. But yeah, she doesn't do much like actively bad. I mean, I assume that happened to you. It's just that like I don't know what to really like say about that. It's like it's just like a weird situation. Oh, wait, do I need to... There we go. Oh, I don't have any fucking bullets? Oh, shit. Okay, might as well go back to the rope darts. Was Varn leaving even if he didn't drop the Zeke thing? And yes, I mean, he was always going home. Yeah, I did hear about that. Disney Plus is rebooting the Quest, which is like, yay. I can't wait. Shannon from Survivor AU is pregnant? Well, good for her. We're talking about Shannon from Brains vs. Brawn. What was her name? I don't even remember her last name. Her last name was Lawson? That's not the name I would have guessed. How you doing? Oh yeah, I mean Varn was always going home. I mean that's why he did it. Is because like that was his like last chance to him of like basically like he was so desperate to stay in the game because like he had played the game twice at that point and never made the jury. So he like was desperate to make the jury on Game Changers, and that's why he goes all out there. How do you fight this guy again? I really don't remember. How would Joey do on Survivor? He could probably do okay. I don't know how like big into the strategy he is, but I mean, he seems like a very social guy. Most notable Amazing Race team is Keith and Whitney. Sure, I guess. I don't even remember, like, how'd their run on 25 go again? I don't even remember. Like, I know they get, like, don't they get, like, U-turned out or something? Like, they get, like, screwed over by, like, some sort of twist, right? Yeah, like, they aren't the greatest TV there, right? How'd Joey from BB16 do on Survivor? Probably not well. Yeah, I'll be honest also, again, my worst player of all time video hasn't come out yet. For Survivor US, I really, like, don't know if I necessarily agree with, like, a spot or two there. But, whatever. It is what it is at this point. I'm not gonna bother redoing it. Measures doesn't think there should be 3-time racers. Yeah, I saw that. Like, whatever to me. I think with Amazing Race, there's so many teams that haven't been back already that I would like to see a lot of those teams back more than other teams that have already been back multiple times. But, yeah, like, obviously that's not how the Amazing Race sees that. Yeah, Joey might be in the top 10 for Big Brother. I will say, like, I don't know if I spoiler, I had her very high on the list. I probably would have her a bit lower, looking back on it. But again, still top 10. Are there any picks that are going to make people mad? Probably not. I think more so people that aren't there will make people mad than people that are on there. I think a lot of that comes from And two, I think when it comes to top 10 worst, to not make the jury, I think that'll probably be some things there that make people upset. Yeah, I think on the worst player of all time video, probably not anything like too controversial there. But I'm sure there'll be people saying, oh, why isn't Big D there, and why isn't Victoria there, and that sort of thing. Was Shelly Poole a good player? Yeah. I don't think, like, she's not, like, a top-tier player by any means, but I think she's, like, a solid player, especially considering, like, when she's booted. Like, I think whenever I get around to doing a first juror ranking, I think Shelly would be relatively high on it. Is Devin number one? I don't even think Devin's number one of, like, these notably bad HOHs. Everyone on the list is pre-jury. Same thing with Survivor. With Survivor, I believe everyone on the list is someone that was voted out the first tribal council they attended.
Where's Sam Adams? Who cares? I've been robbed.
Again, with Big Brother, I'm a bit more lenient on that, just because like how much luck there's involved in terms of who's nominated. But I think with Survivor, it's like I think anyone that's like voted out at their first tribal is usually automatically like a big enough knock to where like the all-time worst have to be people within that group, especially when we're like narrowing it down to 10. Sydney's not in the top 10, but like it isn't really that close. Because like she's someone that like goes out in a very unlucky circumstance, and like while she wasn't like the greatest position coming into the merge and whatnot, like I think her actual boot round wasn't that poorly played from her. Was Jeff a good player? Which Jeff are we talking about? Are we talking about Schroeder or which one? Want Sydney Wheeler to come back? I think I'm good. I don't know how much potential there really is there. Yeah, I assume we were talking about Sydney 41. Oh, Jeff PV 17? Oh, no, you're talking about Big Jeff? Yeah, so Jeff Schroeder. I think Jeff Schroeder is like a very mid-tier player. Like, he's not like an all-time bad player by any means. But I think he just like really lacks a sense of threat management. Like, I don't think he knows how to manage his threat level at all. And also, I think he just like does not fully grasp the strategy of the game. Which, to be fair, plays into his lack of threat management. But I feel like he's someone that on most given seasons, if he gets to the end, he probably wins. Though he does have like a massive fucking ego, though, which obviously is something that could get in his way. Oh, really? Matt and Jess? So that was Matt Carter? Is that his last name? But I know he's been doing stuff about Big Brother and stuff for a long time. So they stopped talking about reality TV, so that's interesting. Yeah, like, I mean, like, the thing about Jeff Stay, I mean, he does have a massive fucking ego. On both his seasons. But it really goes overboard on 13.
There is a way to fight injustice, but this is not it.
But I mean, to be fair, also in 13, it's like he comes very close to just like just winning out pretty much. Like if he doesn't get taken out in the double eviction, he probably wins the game. If not, like comes very, very close. Because at the point that he gets out of the double eviction, so what? We're at the final 7, right? Like let's just say Jordan wins the HOH, which she almost does. Like she's literally like one question away, right, from being Clea. But if that's the case, obviously Portia, Clea go on the block. Portia wins veto. Clea probably goes home. Like at that point, it's like what Jeff has. Okay, what the fuck is that? Jeff has Jordan or actually, does he go for Shelly? I forgot about that. They probably go for Shelly because they know that Shelly turned on them, right? But either way, I mean, like, he gets one of the people on the other side out. At that point, like, Jeff has Jordan, like, obviously 100% locked in, has Adam pretty locked in, and then has Rachel as someone that's, like, probably not going to turn to him until the very, very end. So, like, he's in a pretty decent spot there. Mind you, again, based on how the competition's played out, in real life, like, maybe Portia still wins that HOH, and then, like, who knows what, I mean, Pandora's Box probably plays a factor still. He is in a pretty good spot had he survived that double eviction. But him not surviving double eviction also shows his lack of threat management. Yeah, Foucault coming out during the takeover. Which I love how they completely dropped that twist so quickly on PB17. Do I think Jeff thought he had the game unlocked both seasons? Yes. Like 100%. Both of the seasons, I think he had unlocked. I mean, like, again, like in BB11, like, he thought he had, like, Kevin locked in. He thought, I mean, and he did have Michelle and Jordan locked in. I mean, really, both of his seasons. At the time that he's booted, he has the majority of the house on his side. Like, he's both times he's taken out by someone in the perceived minority winning power and sniping him out of the game.
In place of drink, I offer you my allegiance. For what it's worth.
Well, even in BB11, like, he has Michelle voting to save him over Jordan at the final 5. Like, that's kind of insane. That she's, like, Michelle's, like, trying to keep in, like, her biggest threat in the game. And to be fair, it doesn't work out for Michelle keeping, with Jordan staying in the game anyway, but I do feel like keeping Jeff around there was, like, very dangerous for her as well. Where Jeff probably beats everyone but Kevin, right? Where, like, even Jesse and Russell talk in the jury segment about how, like, even though they're, like, obviously, like, pissed at Jeff, they're still going to vote for him. What if Jeff Probst was a contestant on every season of Survivor? Again, that would just be a ridiculous video concept. Can you tell me your top 10 worst Big Brother players? I'm sure Ozza's in there, right? Actually, if I ever do that Brant Steele with people from the chat, like, for sure I gotta have Ozza as Bryce's profile picture, right? Not Lauren O'Connell or anything. It's gonna be Ozza. But I think Jesse and Natalie's relationship was misconstrued on BB11. I don't know. Like, again, like, I didn't watch the feeds on BB11, so, like, I don't know, like how intimate they got. But the sense that I get is that, yeah, I mean, it definitely was a bit weird, considering she had, like, a fiance back at home and whatnot. Or had a boyfriend, right, at the time they got engaged. While on the show. I still love that Natalie, like, pretended that she was, like, 18 or 19 or whatever. Like, how fucking dumb is that?
What happens now? We wait for the signal. What signal?
This meeting can do nothing further to save the country.
That one.
Washima went far if she was not expelled? No, she would have gone home that week, catching that one to veto.
Shall we be off?
Like, she was already on her way out. She needed to win the veto. She didn't win the veto. She was going home. And to be fair, I don't think she wins that. Again, it was going to be the golf veto, and like Jeff just really dominates that challenge. To where like obviously he ends up throwing it to Jordan at the end, but like I think he's like locked to win that competition anyway. So like I think Shima would have gone home that week anyway. Mind you, she would have been on the jury, which does greatly change like people's likelihoods of winning, particularly Kevin, where at that point Kevin is locked to win the game if he gets to the end. Because at that point he has 4 locked jury votes in Jesse, was it Jesse, Lydia, Shima, and Russell. So at that point he gets to the, if he wins in every scenario he gets to the end, while in real life, without Shima there, he's not as secure just because America becomes a vote, and America's going to vote for Jordan, or vote for Kevin, or vote for Jeff, I mean, if they get to the end. So at that point, Russell, or at that point, Kevin isn't as locked in the vote, to win the vote. Why was Russell locked to Kevin? Because Russell didn't really like anyone else. I think if it was Jeff and Kevin, I think at that point maybe he would have considered voting for Jeff as like a respect thing. But like Russell was very anti-Jordan and would have voted for pretty much anybody but Jordan. And like he didn't even like Natalie that much, but votes for her over Jordan. He wasn't necessarily bitter towards Jordan, it's just that he didn't respect Jordan. Well, I think he just looked at Jordan as like Jeff's lapdog the entire season. Which from a gameplay standpoint, I think it's pretty accurate. Still mad at Kirsten to get voted for BBCAN10? Yeah. I would have loved to see it, especially now she's like such a prominent figure on RHAP. I think seeing her actually play the game would have been interesting, but yeah, not meant to be. I mean, like the thing is, like Russell was not bitter at Jeff. Like Russell, like openly talks about how he how he would have the vote for Jeff if Jeff got to the end. So, like, I don't think it's a bitter thing with Jordan. I think it's just that he just does not respect Jordan. But yeah, he was an interesting cast. I love Russell. Russell's one of my favorite characters in history of Big Brother. I think it's a shame that we're never going to see him play again. How do you throw again? No X. Well, that worked out. What the fuck? Whatever. How much worse would BBCAN10 been if Jace was voted in over Tim? I think it would have been interesting. It probably would be worse because I think Tim is just better TV in the sense that he plays it up to the camera a lot more. But like, it would have been interesting to see Jace try to play Big Brother again. It probably wouldn't have gone well, realistically. Like, he probably like sides with like the Dallases of the world, right? I feel like that seems like the spot for Jace. Is like with Dallas and like Maddie. I forgot Maddie was a person until just now. I didn't talk about that. Part of my rewatching like some older videos and stuff. Part of that came from I won this like big rabbit hole or whatever the other day of just watching a whole bunch of BBCAN8 stuff, which like just kind of made me depressed. Like it's really like depressing watching stuff from BBCAN8. And like seeing the finale and everything, and like everyone leaving the house and everything. You have Brooke and Sheldon like crying on the couch like right before they leave and everything. It's like it's really just such a depressing like end to the season. And especially now that like, we kind of know that like, they're never gonna get another shot, right? Like at most, maybe one of them is going to be on like some sort of all-star season. Like more than likely, none of them. I think that really just makes it even more sad, specifically for like Brooke and Sheldon. Do I like Maddie? Not particularly. I don't necessarily dislike Maddie, but like I don't really have that much of an opinion on her. She's a bad player though, but like in terms of like personality on the show, it's just like whatever. Will there ever be a contestant to go home because too many advantages at Tribal ever again, like Suri's boot in Game Changers? Yes. I think they want that. Again, like I think it's at the point where like I do think they want advantage getting. Like they're not trying to avoid it; they're trying to actually have advantage getting. Like I don't think that's something they looked at as a bad moment for the show. They looked at it as like, oh my god, what a crazy blindside. What a great moment, when in reality, again, it's completely game breaking, but I don't think they look at it that way. Do I think Big D is problematic? Probably to a degree, but like not enough to where like it's probably not going to be in the running for like the challenge and whatnot. Preseason, you thought Maddie was like from BBCAN10 was 20. I could see that. Again, she does look really young. She's like 30, right? Like she's like decently old. It's so funny too with BBCAN10. I still look at like the Brant Steele that RHAP did about it. Like I essentially look at that as like canon for some like for some reason when I think of like BBCAN10. Like I do think, oh yeah, Sheldon won, right? It was Sheldon and Suzanne at the end. Fucking Sheldon used the veto on Chris Wiley twice. Like for some reason, like I just like think of that as like canon. Do I think Hai played Tribal optimally, where Daniel played the complete opposite? Yeah. Based on the position that they were in coming into Tribal, yes. I think the round as a whole, again, ideally Hai would like not be on the bottom by the time they went to Tribal. But in terms of by the time they get to Tribal, then yeah, I think Hai plays it pretty optimally. And obviously, like, Daniel did everything wrong pretty much with the negotiation. Do I know who from the Survivor 41 cast was on the original cast? I know some. Like, we know, like, Erica was going to be on it. We know, the Sean, right, was one of the people. And, like, we know, like, some people from 42 are supposedly on that original cast as well. I mean, yeah, Suri has gone out in... Like, Suri has never properly been voted out of the game. Which is insane, but also, like... it's something that does prop her up as a player to me, the fact that she has never gotten properly voted out. Though, I mean, to be fair, there was, like, kind of some, like, luck-related things with that. Or, like, I mean, she would have been, like, the first boot on Game Changers had she ever gotten the Tribal. Or at least based on how the dynamics were before they swapped and everything. It did seem like she was going to be the first boot had they ever gotten Tribal there. And really, I mean, just overall, like, I do look at Suri's Game Changers game to be pretty overrated by the majority. Like, while it does, like, show that, okay, she can make it to the end again, despite, like, the target on her back, it's like she does get very lucky at multiple points throughout that game. And it's also just, like, not even in the majority. Like, she's pretty much getting, like, outplayed by Sarah throughout a lot of that game. And, like, the only rounds that I think she's, like, more integral to, like, I don't even think she makes, like, the optimal move for herself. Like, when she votes out, like, Andrea at the final 8, like, that's just way too early. Like, recasting all such video? Thank you. I do think, from what I've seen, the reception to the video has been pretty strong. I do think the like-to-dislike ratio is probably, like, a little bit less than what it probably could be, but, I did see, like, it got, I think out of my more recent videos, I'm pretty sure that's the video that I've gotten the most, like, new subs from. So, I mean, that's something. And again, overall, the video performed better than I was expecting. Even actually, I'm looking at it now, it's actually 800 views behind my Heroes vs. Villains one. But again, it's still like 1,000 views ahead of my auction video, so whatever. Jamal and Deshaun look exactly the same. I think they're like similar archetype wise, where I think they were like cast to be in a similar spot there. Okay, it wasn't in here. Game, thank you. Oh wait, I'm going to... Yeah, this is the William Johnson assassination, right? Yeah, I mean, Mark is winning. Like, it's funny because I was listening... I haven't listened to Shannon Gust's podcast, Austrian Survivor, in a while. So, like, I started, like, listening to her latest episode, and, like, she was talking about, I can't believe Sam didn't win. I thought the season was, like, set up for Sam to win. It's like, what season have you been watching? Like, to me, it's like, Sam was so clearly, like, being set up for a fall the entire time. And again, to me, it's like, Mark is, like, so clearly the winner from, like, so early on. But whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think this episode, like, felt like they're going all in on Mark. Again, we literally got that, like, the first, like, half of the episode was pretty much dedicated to them setting up Mark winning. Where, like, I wrote the part of the review for this last episode already. Let's see. Trying to open up. But again, like, they spend so much time, like, giving Mark winner quotes, like, over and over and over again. Like, it is, like, it's kind of funny. It's like they're not hiding it at this point.
How is this possible? We destroyed the T.
Let's see.
The Templars are nothing if not resourceful.
And it's funny too because, like, I think, like, at the very beginning of the episode, we see him, like, push away Shay, and, like, that should be, like, terrible jury management. Like, that is, like, not good gameplay wise. Yet it's, like, really shown as, like they use that to transition to, like, Mark talking about Sam and how he's devastated that Sam's gone. So, like, instead of, like, it being, like, portrayed as, like, a bad game move, which in reality it is, it's instead being portrayed as, oh, this is, like, he's doing this just because he's missing Sam. But yeah, it's like he talks about being devastated that Sam's gone, how he feels responsible. We see him get emotional. He says that his one goal is to win, and everything he has done has been to win. He says there's a path now that he has the two idols. Talks about how he needs to make Sam proud, and he needs to get the job done. He talks about how he needs to do it for his son. Says that if he gets to the end, he's definitely going to win. It's like there's just so much there. He says the only things blocking him from a win are Josh, Jordy, and Dave. Says that he's using Josh as a shield to make him look like the leader. Yeah, I mean, it's like the entire, like, first, like, 20 minutes of the episode is all, like, them, like, giving Mark, like, essentially them setting up Mark's winner edit there. Oh yeah, I found this one confessional hilarious, where, like, Mark says that Jordy's a trained gardener and I'm a trained killer. It's like, what a fucking dumb confessional, but it's hilarious. I literally, like, laughed when he said that. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I just love, like, how fucking, like, all in Mark gets on, like, him being this, like, big, like, soldier guy. Or like you even see him talk about how, if there's blood, you can kill it or something. Like in the middle of the tribe and everything. It's like so weird. Like all these things that he's saying. Yeah, and Mark essentially, like, he needs to get to the end without Josh and Jordy, and he wins the game for sure. Even against Josh, I can see him pulling out the win. I do think against Jordy, I do think it's a tough road there. But, like, he could still win. It's just that also, it's like, it's not happening. So I'm surprised, like, coming into this episode, I thought Jordy was going home this episode. Like, obviously, by the time, like, they randomly mentioned Dave being this massive threat, obviously it was going to be Dave. But I did feel like it was, like, this was Jordy's time to go. Considering, again, like, in the Benji situation, Matt Rogers, like, Benji goes immediately after Matt Rogers. And this felt like Sam was his Matt Rogers. And that it was, like, now was Benji's time to be booted, but, yeah, it didn't happen. Not one that's good. It would be funny if Forever US were secretly doing auctions every season, but never filmed or air it. Again, it would be funny, but it's not. Like, it's not happening. I can guarantee you that. Thoughts on the NZ Thailand auction? I don't remember it. I really don't. When you take out the edit, do I think Josh has played the best game at this point? Yes. I mean, like, yes. I think up until Purgatory, yes. I think post-Purgatory, then debatable. Like, I don't like a lot of the moves he's making. Like, I really just, like, I think him voting for Sam is really fucking dumb. And, like, while it hasn't, like, completely backfired on him, like, it really should have. Like, I think, like, Josh is, like, one of these players that, like, tries to... Okay, fuck off. Like, he tries to... Like, he's essentially kind of too greedy, I feel like. Where, like, I don't think he has a great sense of knowing his actual limitations. Where, like, he just tries to, like, he wants to blindside someone, but also wants, like, the people that will be blindsided by that to still work with him moving forward. But, like, isn't actually, like, skilled enough to actually make those things happen. Where, like, him voting for Sam, despite him wanting to keep Sam in the game and have Sam play her idol, like, he's just doing too much. Like, this is a situation where, like, why is Sam going to be that indebted to you at that point when you just voted for Sam? like, why are you voting for Sam? Like, it's just a ridiculous, I just simply don't get it. Like, I get his thought process, but I don't get how that is actually a good move. Thoughts on Jackson 39? He's boring. He's like a competent player.
If you wish to protect us, then give us arms, muskets,
but, I mean, nothing like too remarkable about him.
War is not the answer.
Who is the greatest downfall in Survivor history?
We remember you moved the borders. Even today your men dig up the land, showing no regard for those who live upon it. Your words are honeyed but false.
Sarah Lucina's up there.
Negotiate, nor to sell. We are here to tell you and yours to leave these lands.
So be it.
Oh.
I offered you an olive branch.
I'm trying to think of ones that were like long, like ones that were like set up for a while in the edit.
Are you threatening us?
Shan's was solid.
Yes.
Drew Christie, I mean, I guess. Like, it's a great, like, one individual episode. Like, really, episode 4 of Sam Wonderster is probably one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. By the way, that's a video I want to do at some point. It's top 10, or whatever number, episodes of all time. Running has, like, a fun one, but I don't know if it's, like, way at the top.
You sought to claim these lands for the Templars.
That's on Val. I mean, she's fun.
Protect them.
Again, dumb move to, like, I'm dumb that she's, like, claiming to have all these idols. And, like, not telling John Rocker the truth when he's, like, actively trying to save her. But...
Oh, sure.
The colonists are happy to trade.
Like, I think she's a player that has, like, potential.
A bit of extra padding for the armies.
Probably never gonna see it.
When the walls of the city
Why is everyone on Survivor AU a ham? I mean, not everyone is. It's just the people that are getting screen time. We're like, that's why we're not getting any screen time from like Mel and Michelle and Juicy Dave and like all these other people. It's like because they're not like hamming it up. Well, like Jordy is someone that like plays into everything the producers want. Mark plays into it to a degree.
I could have stopped it. I could have saved you all.
There's a great rise to power. I mean, Tony and 40, or like Chris Doherty, to a degree. Oh. I'm just trying to run through the Survivor winner. I mean, I guess maybe like Natalie Anderson too. I don't know if that's like really a rise to power necessarily. Yeah, I feel like Tony and 40 is like one that like, again, like the entire like the brilliance of the Sophie move I think is like really like one of the greatest moments in the history of Survivor to me. Where like he completely flips the power structure that's like not as favorable to him. And like through the one move of blindsiding Sophie, he makes it so Sarah and Ben have no other option but be loyal to him. While also having Jeremy and Michelle thinking that he's with them. He also has like Nick on his side. And through making the move to blindside Sophie, he builds more trust with Nick. Is Sophie top 10 blindside? Yeah, I think definitely top 10. Again, that's another video I have on my list of video ideas, top blindsides. Like, I think it might be like it's probably top 5. Like, number 1 to me is always, it's going to be Sarah Lucina and Kagian. Like, I don't know how you really beat that. And I think, like, John Hennigan is, like, top 5. Yeah, I think definitely,
on his body was a letter
I think Tony's Sophie move is definitely up there, too. LJ Blindside's pretty good, too, but I don't know if it's quite on that level. Well, I think the Sophie Blindside's, like, a better version of the LJ Blindside.
And the Templars will surely take control. So long as Pitcairn lives, the danger remains.
What's the best move, both strategically and entertainment-wise?
Needs to die.
And again, like, the Sophie move's up there. John Hennigan move is up there.
I thought it might bring clarity or instill a sense of accomplishment, but all I feel is regret.
Hold fast to that.
The Nally idle play take out Baylor. That's
Not
up
only
there.
for my people, but for all the others Johnson would have harmed.
It's a start.
Is going to 4 with Sarah optimal for Tony?
Temple
Yes.
influence.
Because he beats Sarah.
All of them.
Really, I mean, like, Tony beats everybody. Like, after the Sophie blindside, Tony beats everybody left in the game. So, he just needs to get there at that point. And Sarah's someone that is willing to take him to the end.
Company.
Party idle play, I mean, like, again, like, I think it's great entertainment-wise. I think it has merit,
what is it?
gameplay-wise. But I do struggle to put it as, like, an all-time great move for me, personally.
Seems the Redcoats are up to something in Boston. Guess you made an impression on the Sons of Liberty.
He's like, fundamentally, I mean, like, while that is the move that allows the villains to gain control after the merge, it's also the move that, like, pretty much cost Parvati the game.
You might wish to reconsider. John Pitcairn is mentioned by name.
Where am I to go?
Is Tony being able to flip back and forth on Kagian and not paying the price just straight gameplay or incompetence? I think it's not incompetence, but I think it's I think one, it's him having a very strong ally in Trish who's willing to still remain loyal to him despite those things. Let's get the trinkets. But I think that's a part of it, and then I mean, he's like realistically, him flipping on LJ. really the only person that needs to be managed there is Jeffra, where like both Trish and Cass were still willing to work with Tony. So really, it's only Jeffra that needs to remain loyal to him, and Jeffra does stay with him because of Trish. But it's like, you know, even if that didn't happen, like it would have been a 4-4 tie, or it would have been like Jeffra telling Spencer to play his idol a specific way, but then Tony had the Tyler Perry idol at that point, so it didn't really matter that much to Tony. And he also would have had he had another idol to play around with the next round also. That's something I kind of forgot about from, again, watching Will Neff watch Survivor Kakian. I kind of forgot like how like impenetrable Tony was in the end game of Kakian, due to him having both the Tyler Perry idol and the regular idol. I did find it funny, like, to see the chat, like, just not understand, like, Tony's move at the final 8 tribal. And to be fair, I don't think Will Neff, like, initially understood it either, even though he was supporting it, which I find funny. Yeah, it was Tony. Tony always flipped with Wu. That way he also doesn't get the sole blame for each of the blind sides. Yeah, like, because, like, the thing about, like, Tony... So when, like, Spencer plays his idol at the Jeremiah boot, like, Tony pulls out his idol, and the point of that is to scare Spencer into thinking that the votes are on Spencer, when in reality they're on Jeremiah. Because by Tony pulling out his idol when Spencer pulls out his and starts to play his, that should make Spencer think that, oh, the votes actually are on me because Tony's preparing to play an idol. Oh, okay, well that's... Can I even climb this? The thing is, though, at the end of the day, it's like, that actually didn't matter, because, like, Spencer's talked about himself that he was always going to play the idol on himself. But, like, it is a very, like, forward-thinking move there from Tony. Even though it had no real effect on anything. Which, to be fair, is, I think, Tony's, like, Kakian game as a whole. Is that he does, like, way too much, even in situations where, like, most of it doesn't even matter. Is Kakian still my favorite season? Yes. Though I will say I probably like it a bit less on the rewatch through watching it on Will Neff streams. But it's still a season I have like so much like nostalgia for, if you will, that it's tough to not have it as my favorite season. Does Will Neff like Tony? He likes Tony. Wu is his favorite though. I did find it funny how, again, he's, like, so pro-Wu. Which, to be fair, again, like, I think people underestimate, like, how popular Wu is at the time. Mind you, Spencer was the fan favorite. But, again, Wu was also very popular. Like, people were, like, surprised that he gets voted in on Second Chance. But it's, like, if you knew, like, the casual reaction to Wu at the time, it's, like, it's not a surprise that he gets voted in. Do I like Spencer? I mean, Spencer was my favorite player at the time. Again, at the time, I was rooting for Spencer over Tony. Like, Spencer was my winner pick, too, for Kakian. Did anyone who left with an idol have a chance of doing well in the game if they had used it? Yeah. I think a lot of people. Well, I think most people that get blindsided with an idol in their pocket would have probably done well if they had used their idol. Especially because, like, usually when someone's blindsided with an idol in their pocket, it's usually in a situation where, like, not the entire tribe is against them. And that's why they're confident enough to not use their idol. So because if they had used their idol, more than likely they end up flipping the, like, dynamics back on in their favor. Favorite BB downfall? I mean, I think Devin and Paulie are the top two that come to mind right away. And, oh, Paul and BB19 is probably number one, actually. How about, like, Shelly and Nisi from Amazing Race 25? I don't remember who those people are. Were they flight attendants? There's something like that, right? Like, I have no memory who they are. Do I like Wu? Yeah, I've always liked Wu. Like, to me, like, I've always liked Wu, like, more than I like Keith Nail, which I know is someone that, like, the superfan community is, like, more in favor of. I was happy to see Wu get a second chance. And dude, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Wu play again, personally. But I don't think it's, like, super likely at this point, though. But, like, if he was on, if he was on Survivor 50, like, I wouldn't be that upset. I mean, when I say super fans, I mean, like, Survivor Reddit. Where, like, I feel like Reddit loves Keith Nail for, like, the character moments and whatnot. But I feel like they don't love Wu as much.
To introduce you to William Dawes and Robert Newman.
Your letter said John...
Oh, fuck, I just realized we're about to do the Paul Revere mission.
He's readying an assault on Lexington, where Adams and Hancock have taken shelter.
Does Wu want to play again? I feel like he's one of these people that would probably get asked. That would probably say yes if he gets asked.
You must.
I don't think he would get asked, though.
Only tell me where to find him, and I will put a stop to this.
He has dozens, if not hundreds, of soldiers at his command. Cannot hope to match him by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, he had no clue what, like, he knew nothing about the game of Survivor going into the season.
We have an entire army of our own, merely awaiting
and
the order.
I don't know if he knows anything about Survivor nowadays either. But, I think he's like a fun enough personality. I'd see Wu, then another Malcolm or Joe return. I mean, I would rather see Malcolm back personally than Wu, but definitely more than Joe. I don't need to see Joe play Survivor again.
Like the signal. 2 lanterns, our enemy comes by sea.
Was Tony a recruit? Not from what I understand.
No time for
like, Tony was like a casual fan.
We have lives to save. Come on.
Do I still think Australian Outback is worse than Thailand? We'll see. Yeah, I'm about to rewatch Thailand. By the way, I'm about halfway through my BB3 rewatch now. Still haven't watched as much, like, I didn't have as much time to watch as I really wanted to over the last few days, but I have gotten to pretty much halfway point. So I got to the point where Josh is evicted and Amy comes back to the game, which is episode 16, I think. Which I think there are 32 episodes, so halfway through that.
You take the reins, I'll
yeah, I'm about to watch Thailand after that, so we'll see how that goes. I saw someone was inspired by Wu, thought they were talking like Yule.
We need to alert. Follow my directions, and we'll be done in
It is funny too, like Wu on the show is so weird because like the Wu you see on the show is not what people saw on the island. Where you can clearly tell, like Wu was like very quiet and like reserved on the actual island. Because like you see like when he does the karate show for the kids on the reward. And, like, Wu, like, says, oh, it was nice to see your personality and everything. Like, it's very clear that, like, again, Wu was just, like, not the same person that we see in, like, in the confessionals and whatnot.
Red coats. What are they doing here?
That, and also, they also had the, like, negative perception of him from the Lisa Wu stuff.
Be careful, Connor. We mustn't let them warn the others.
Do I like the point where Lisa crowned herself the Princess of Darkness? Not really. I find it very cringy. Especially because, like, she doesn't actually do anything that dark. I still, like, having just rewatched the Kiara HOH, I think the Kiara HOH is one that's, like, not talked about as, but should be as, like, one of the worst HOHs in the history of the show. Like, what a terrible fucking HOH. Where, like, she puts up Josh and Roddy with the intention of targeting Roddy, or intention of targeting Josh, where Josh was, like, one of her, like, closest people up until that week. And she targets Josh because, like, Josh lied to her about what Lisa said, which, like, again, fair. But also, seems, like, very short-sighted when, like, Josh is one of her numbers. And is also one of Roddy's numbers, who is one of her numbers. But also, she's putting Roddy on the block in a position where, like, it's so easy to flip the vote on Roddy. And if Roddy goes, that's literally her number one ally being taken out of the game on her own HOH.
Regulars marked for Lexington and Concord.
The British are coming!
Like, it is a really terrible HOH there. And, like, she comes out of the HOH being, like, the number one target for the next week. Where, like, everyone wanted to target her and Roddy coming into the next week.
Keep going!
Is BB3 Final 3 best BB history? Probably. It's up there. Because, again, like, Danielle and Jason are two of the top players of all time. And then Lisa is good. It was one of the best auction moments? Yeah. I think it's immaculate all in my mouth.
Left, Connor.
It's just ridiculous. And also the get a fat dip of that
Get back
block.
on the horse, Connor. Be on the lookout for redcoats.
I think BB22 is also a good one from gameplay standpoint. Like from like a pure gameplay standpoint. Entertainment standpoint, not really. But again, like Cody, Enzo, Nicole. Yeah, I mean that's probably the best one in terms of like average placement on like my top player of all time list.
Let us continue the search on foot.
But I think Danielle or Eric is the better player. I think Danielle is the better player. And is Danielle still top 10? Probably. I mean, she is. Like, the thing is, like, Danielle's not top 10 because of BB3. Danielle's top 10 because she had a very strong game on BB3, but it also comes back in BB7 with a big target on her back and still does play an impressive game in her own right there. Where if it had not been for BB7, then no, Danielle would not be top 10. And to be honest, at that point, I would probably say Danielle was an overrated player. In the grand scheme of things, but I feel like once we combine BB7 in there, I feel like you get a better grasp on Danielle's overall potential in the game. Come on. Oh wait, I'm not even doing the right thing. I will say that as time goes on, though, I feel like I should probably reconsider like Nicole Franzel and Enzo and like see where they really land on the all-time list. Especially Nicole Franz. I feel like probably Nicole's probably number 10 instead of June. But like I didn't really feel that great about putting June in the top 10 anyway. And like while I think June is probably like overall a more self-interested player, I feel like we obviously have like so much more information on Nicole that'd probably make me want to put Nicole back in the top 10. Survivor reunion ranking, again, I plan on doing that at some point. It's in my list of videos. I need to rewatch every reunion though. I haven't watched a lot of them in a while. Where am I going? Okay, I'm not even in the circle anymore.
For redcoats.
Again, fuck Paul Revere. Where I rank Lisa and Jason as players? I mean, probably the same as what I would have before. So, like, what? Jason's probably somewhere in, like, the 15 to 20 range. And, like, Lisa's probably, like, top 50, maybe? I don't know exactly where she would land. Is it that one? Oh, here, right?
Connor?
No? Which house is it then? Is your top 15? Probably.
Careful, Connor. There might
if
be
I remember right, like he was
around.
like very much like on the edge.
This is it. You have got the right place.
And I think at this point, I would actually probably have him above June. Textures on that door are ridiculously bad.
Spread the word. The regulars are coming out.
Do I think there's an argument for Tiffany above Vanessa? Yeah. I don't know if I'm fully there though. They're around the same tier though. They're like right outside. Like they're around like 11 to 20, like that sort of range. Yeah, like Tiffany and Eric are very close as well. Like really, that's probably the more apt comparison is Tiffany and Eric.
This
International
is
File
not
Travel
right.
ranking, probably at some point, but not anytime soon. Like, it's not really top of mind, for sure, by the end of the year. Just rewatched the Vanuatu reunion, Jeff just berating Chris and even hugging Twyla. I think that's funny, yeah. I mean, like, it is funny how anti-Chris he was at the time. And obviously a lot of that has to do with, like, him being upset at Chris for what he did to Julie. Well, I just completely fucked all this up.
Oh, bother. Everything looks the same at night. I believe we are on course.
What a shit mission this is.
Might be safer if we approach the houses on foot.
Oh yeah, I mean, All-Star Reunion is probably number one. Like, I actually just rewatched it not too long ago. Why did I rewatch it? I don't even remember at this point. But, like, I did rewatch it, like... Oh, I think it was when I watched... That's what it was. When I did the finale ranking. And I rewatched All-Stars. That's the only reunion I took the time to actually watch in that process. Because I was like, I mean, the reunion's fantastic. And Micronesia reunion's just weird. Especially now with, like, the context that, like, Amanda cheated on... Or Ozzy cheated on Amanda, like, the night before. And, like, you have, like, Jeff trying to, like, get Amanda to say, hey, are you and Ozzy still together? Just, like, it's really awkward. Hasn't Jeff been more complimentary of Chris? I mean, the thing is, like, he just doesn't talk about Chris. Like, I would assume he would be, but, like, he hasn't really talked much about Chris. Since Vanuatu.
This is it.
I'm trying to think, like, what did he say in his season ranking about Vanuatu? I actually don't remember. I think he was complimentary towards Chris there, right? Like, a bit more. I mean, not, like, to a ridiculous degree. Are we done? No, this is where we get ambushed and we have the fucking escape, right?
The regulars are coming. Here.
I forgot he had Marquese second to last. Which again, that's apt. Oh, here's the. Alright, I'm looking at the ranking. This is what I was talking about last episode or last stream with Fiji. This is literally his quote for Fiji. If it weren't for Yao Man and Dreams, this season might have edged out Thailand as the worst ever. No offense, Earl, but as nice a guy as you are in real life, the charisma did not carry over to screen. So it's like he is. He was not high on Earl at the time as a TV character.
Faster! We need to get away from them.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, I suppose that's one way to deal with the situation.
Actually, I forgot about this too. His response, like he has Guatemala at 16 at the time. This is at the time of right before Heroes vs. Villains. He has Guatemala 16. His thing is number 16. Why not? That's literally it. But all right, here we go. Vanuatu. What did he say? Yeah, this is what he said about. He said Chris has to be acknowledged for doing such a good job at turning the women against each other. So that they gave him the $1 million. So yeah, he does praise Chris a bit there. But really, I feel like that's the only thing he's said about Chris since then. Like, he hasn't talked about Chris outside of that. Now, I feel like if you were to talk about Chris now with him, like, I think he would say the exact same thing. I feel like that's the thing he remembers about Chris, is that he turned the women against each other. But, to me, I was like, I don't think he has that great of a memory of Chris. But I think that's the thing about Jeff, is that Jeff remembers, like, these, like, one or two, like, things about a person's game, but doesn't actually remember the bulk of their game. Like, he doesn't, I don't think, like, when I think with Parvati, it's like, all he remembers is that, oh, she manipulated the men, and she had the double idol play. I feel like those are, like, the two main things that he remembers of Parvati. When, like, again, like, her being, like,
we will never finish in time if we go by
like
foot.
This man manipulator or whatever. Like, that's not even like really how she plays the game. Would I be opposed to seeing Rory play again? I don't know if like we need it now. Like, I don't know how into the game Rory is in the modern day, but like, if we were in like Micronesia, I feel like Rory would have been a top person I would have wanted to see back. Oh yeah, Marquesas Reunion's like up there too, but like for a completely different reason than All Stars, where like it's so bad that it's funny.
Keep going.
Yeah, like that would be a top ranked reunion. And Shan, from what I understand, has like some sort of back injury, right? Or like back, not injury, but like has some sort of disease to where she like does not have like a strong like spine or something like that. And then with Chris, I mean, it's just that he's overweight. I think that's really the bulk of it.
This is it. You have got the right place.
Is this the end? Can this be over already? Oh no, this is the ambush, right?
Where the devil is he?
Oh no, this is the guy that's up there. Fuck.
Well, sure, I'm
This mission goes on forever. I forgot how great the dolly blindside was in Vanuatu. Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy boat. Especially because like what Eliza flips, right? Despite her being like part of this like young girl group.
At once.
And like in the next boat, like Eliza flips back only for like Lisa to flip. When like Mia goes home. Do I like June as a character? I mean, like, kind of, but kind of not. Like, I don't like how personal she gets. But I feel like there's a good character there.
Welcome to Lexington, Connor. Now let's find Hancock and Adams.
But realistically, I don't think
sign
June's
of
like the most
Dawes.
likable person
I hope he's all right.
on the show. Well, like, obviously, like, Todrick is someone that's, like, hated by the Big Red community, but, like, I mean, June and Nelson, like, said just as bad things, if not worse, across their season.
Paul, Connor. Good to see
Outside
you.
Tony's my favorite character of all
You need to
time.
leave.
Yeah,
The Redcoats are
Rupert,
coming.
Coach.
Aye, so Williams told us. Let them conduct their little search. They'll find nothing.
We're talking about, like, pure character.
Pitcairn intends to kill you.
I'm afraid it's true.
Oh.
I suppose we have no choice then but to go. What of you three?
Dawes and I will continue on to Concord. Connor,
I like
best you stay
Angelina, I
here
guess.
and help our man John
He's
Parker
a great
hold the
character.
town.
I'm Dan
Will give us
Foley,
time to spread the word.
but like, not for good reasons. Like, not because of, like, obviously because it's like he's a bumbling idiot, and it's humorous to see him being a bumbling idiot. Like, really, the Dan is wrong again is, like, one of my favorite moments in all of Survivor. Which mission is this? This entire section of the game is so fucking boring. Because all of them trying to force in all these, Revolutionary War battles. Like, this is really, like, the downfall of Assassin's Creed, is when they really shoehorned all this shit in. Oh, yeah, and Dan Foley, like, the way he gets voted out. Or, like, him, and, like, well, like, not entirely true, but, like, the way the show presents it is that, like, oh, Dan plays his extra vote, and through him playing his extra vote, he tips off Carolyn to play her idol, which, again, isn't true. Like, Carolyn was going to play her idol anyway. But, like, the fact that, like, that's how the show portrays is also humorous to me. Whereas, like, he also, like, causes his own demise. Pretty much the world's part, Dan only had one problematic moment. I mean, like, Rodney, Rodney is, like, more problematic than Dan to me. Like, where, like, Dan's just, again, like, Dan's an idiot. And that's really, like, the issue with Dan. Like, where, like, I don't think he does anything, like, purposely malicious throughout the season. It's just that, again, he's just an idiot. like when he talks about, like, how, like, him and Shireen have, like, the same, issues, like had the same backgrounds, because, like, he was adopted. When, like, Shireen was, like, abused by her father or whatever. It's, like, that's just ridiculous. But it's also, like, humorous, like, to a degree. Like, it's humorous from, like, that Dan is, like, that delusional and thinking that that's actually true. But yeah, it's like, again, Dan's just an idiot. Like, that's really, like, what makes him such a funny character. Well, it's like, yeah, Rodney has, like, some legitimate things that's, again, not great. And a lot of, like, misogynistic behavior across the season. Is Dan Jeff's least favorite player ever? He's up there. Yeah, I think Brian Heidick might be higher. Might not. I mean, I think they're around the same. Is Will worse than Dan? I don't know. I mean, like, the Will-Shireen fight is bad. But, like, I feel like it's bad from both, like, points of view. Like, I think it's, like, I think both Shireen and Will handle that poorly. And, like, to be honest, I kind of side with Will, for, like, to a degree, in the sense that, like, I think they both handle it poorly. But, like, Shireen is so, like, indignant over the entire situation, where, like, she acts as if she did nothing wrong. Well, like, at least Will does apologize. He, like, acknowledges that he shouldn't have said what he said. Well, like, Shireen doesn't. And, like, that's the thing that I don't like about Shireen across that season. And really, I don't like about Shireen just as a whole, is I feel like Shireen's just really indignant as a person.
Why do you think I'm men up?
Like, I feel like she always thinks that she's the victim of every single situation. Like, you have her, like, unfriending Max Dawson. Because, like, Max Dawson said that she played a bad game in Cambodia. It's like, I think everyone will tell her she played a bad game in Cambodia. Like, she gets so, like, personally hurt over him, like, bashing her game in Cambodia.
Where's Revere?
Captured.
Could Max Dawson return? No, he ruined his relationship with production.
That man's no stranger to sticky situations. He'll be fine.
Again, like, he was talking about production on his podcast and everything. And he's blacklisted from CBS, from what I understand. So
Parker seems to believe you're not completely.
Don't think he's coming back.
So, I suppose there's a thing or two you might be able to help with. When the fighting starts, we'll need to hold those positions there. They're critical to the defense of Concord. Good boys. Not used to soldiering, they need some with the experience to direct them. That's something you can do.
It is funny too. Like, Shireen was, like, very popular at the time Worlds Apart.
My word.
And it's funny how, like, now no one cares about Shireen. Like, you don't hear anything from Shireen at this point. I mean, she was on Sequester, like, what? It hasn't even been, like, 2 years, right? Barely been a year, actually. But, like, outside of that, it's like, again, you don't hear anything about Shireen.
No! Ensure my men hold those positions. If the Red Devils break through, we're finished.
What would you have me do?
Listen carefully. The redcoats will form firing lines.
Again, this part of the game is
Just
so
before
boring.
The line is ready. Too soon and they'll miss their targets. Too late, and the enemy will open fire first.
Understood.
And if any of those bastards
So we're
make
over
it through,
3 hours in
engage
this
them.
stream.
You must keep my men alive.
Oh, I mean, she was pretty... Like, she played pretty poorly in Cambodia. I mean, she does have that... Like, the first round... I don't know why I just did that. She does, like, create the majority alliance, votes out Vetus. But, I mean, a lot of that was pre-game. Like, in terms of the game that she actually plays on the island, she does play pretty poorly.
Prepare yourselves. Fire now.
Yeah, I think this like Shreen, I think was popular because she was like this person who was against Dan and against Will and against Rodney. Well, like I feel like in most situations, Shreen's just not like that likable person. Surprised by how much negativity Mike got in the pre-merge. I mean, like it's really only like one episode of negativity, right? I think it's like episode 2 or something.
Wait for my signal. Shoot.
This is such a dumb... Oh my god, I just realized like how fucking dumb this mission is too. Like this game, like this part of the game just really sucks.
Fire now.
Always wish Jim Rice came back for Cambodia. Me too. I voted for him.
Shoot.
Now it's looking like we're probably never going to see him back, which is a shame.
Fire now.
Actually, I just realized that it's insane. It's been more seasons from now to Cambodia than what it was from South Pacific to Cambodia at the time. Like that's kind of insane. It's so weird how like I wasn't even thinking about this until like Steven mentioned on RHAP this last episode or whatever. That's been like 7 or 8 years or something since Cambodia. And like that's insane to me. It's been that long since Cambodia at this point. Yeah, Cambodia was like fall of 2015, right? So it's been like 6.5 years. And like obviously 7 years since the film. Like that's, again, that's so weird. It's been that long.
Wait for the signal. Fire now. Hold fire.
How's Shane not got voted in? I mean, yeah, like I just don't think the casuals remembered him. And that's the thing, like Cambodia, like coming into it, like RHAP was like so confident that like the super fans would have the majority of the vote, and it did not happen. Like it really turned out to be more of a casual vote. Which again, you would expect, as that always ends up being the case in all these situations. But yeah, I mean, like people were so confident, like Shane and T-Bird were getting in, but no. Didn't make it.
Make ready. Go.
Can Nat 10 come back? I think she can. I don't think it's particularly likely at this point, where I feel like there's so many people in her archetype from recent seasons that they would rather have back more, but it's not out of the realm possibility. When they start know-it-alls, Philippines was the first season. And what, Josh Wigler replaced Steven, right? For Cambodia. Actually, I forgot Josh Wigler existed, to be honest. He's like, he doesn't do Survivor stuff anymore. Like, he used to be like so prominent in the Survivor fan base, and now he's just doing like post-show recaps. Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't listened to a lot of T-Bird's podcasts. Again, T-Bird's not really for me, personally, in terms of her as a podcast guest.
At least they're gone.
I think I would like her as like a TV character, but I think in terms of a podcast, not really the type of person I want to listen to. If you're RHP correspondent, probably Taryn.
I need to find him. Every day I wait, more will suffer.
I think a lot of that comes from, like, for the most part, agree with Taryn's view of the game. I mean, there are things that I differ from him, particularly in like ranking of winners and whatnot, but
It is not enough.
and really ranking of players also. But for the most part, I have a similar game view to Terran. I also like Shannon Gus to a degree, but I think Shannon gets a bit too wrapped up in loving Survivor because it's Survivor. Where like I feel like even though she's like willing to criticize it, I feel like she gets too like I mean like listening to her Blood versus Water and like she really talks about like everything as if it's like, oh, it's the best. Like this is like a really crazy vote on whatever. It's like it's
unfavorable to my reputation.
I
beg it may be remembered by every gentleman in
plus,
the room.
I really like Puya as well. Problem with Puya for me is like I feel like he probably lets his emotions guide his strategical analysis at points. In terms of like certain people he doesn't like from like the preseason, I think that's like kind of clouded him at points. But for the most part, I do like Puya as well. Yeah, I do plan on playing the Tyranny of King Washington DLC. I don't know how much I'm going to talk about it in the video that I make though. Like I don't think I'll go like all in on doing a full blown like recap of it, but I'll probably like talk about briefly. Yeah, Josh, like I love the evolution strategy. I haven't listened to it in so long at this point, but yeah, I mean that was great.
It was the Patriots who did that.
It would be cool if they did 31 through 40 at some point, but I don't think they will at this point. But
as humble as he is brave.
How's Terran rank? I mean, like it's more so like I think he puts like much more credence in like he's one of these people that like the first season that they're on is way more important than like anything else they ever do. Where like he and also I think he I mean he doesn't really rank on control in the game and whatnot. Where it's like, and also I think he like mixes his winner ranking and his player ranking. Where again, like for me, like I look at it as two separate lists. Where like I think you rank when I look at my winner ranking, it's a ranking of the winning games. While with the player ranking, it's ranking of these people as players. While I think Terran like mixes the two. Where like he has like Dan 1, Will 2. And like that sort of thing, where it's like, even though he openly admits that like, oh, Will's winning game is not that good,
now that's an altogether different beast,
but still has him as number 2 winner of all time. So I think in terms of like just the philosophy on how to rank winners is like slightly different. How's he have Will 2? I mean, a lot of people have Will at 1. Like, I mean, I think having Will at 2 is like not the most egregious thing. I forgot to talk to Achilles, but whatever. A lot of people have Will as like the best player of all time. And actually, I mean, like it's funny too because like Terran was like one of the first people in RGP that like not say Will is the best player of all time, because like that was the thing. I remember like when they did the first ever like Big Brother winner ranking, was that was back when Jordan Parhar was still there, and like there was like a tie in the vote between what is it? Terran had Dan at number 1, and then Alex Kidwell and I forgot Alex Kidwell until now. And Jordan Parhar both had Will at 1, and then like Brett I think had like Derek at 1, but then switched to Dan to make it a tie. But like again, like that was like Terran was like one of the first people to say, "Oh, Dan is the best player of all time." Where like so much of RGP had been based around like, "Oh, Will's the best player of all time for Big Brother" for a very long time. Where like even like Rob thinks Will's the best player of all time. And really, I just think like that was just like the commonly assumed thing for a very long time, was that Will's the best player of all time. Do I think I'll play Elden Ring? Probably eventually, but not anytime soon. I'm not spending $60 on Elden Ring. What am I doing right now? What mission is this? Any news on BBAU? I don't think so, but I haven't been looking, really. Why does Big Brother not have jury questions? Because they want to, like, streamline the finale. Has Rob said that? I don't think Rob has ever said that Cochran is the best Survivor player. I think didn't he say Boston Rob? I'm pretty sure. At the time of the top player, when he did like the top player of all time, or podcast, whatever. I'm pretty sure he said Boston Rob.
For Israel Putnam.
On whose orders?
I think with Will, I think a lot of it comes from personality. Well, I think a lot of them assume that because he is such a charismatic figure in the DR, that he is like this charismatic figure that's always going to get his way in the game, when that's like clearly not true based on both of his seasons. But yeah, I do think a lot of it comes down to people just liking Will. Did I ever listen to Survivor Oz? Yes. Back in the day. I used to listen to like all those podcasts, and it's like, I don't know how the fuck I did it. Like listening to like interviews with like Christina Coria, and when I was like, who fucking cares at this point? Like, I don't fucking care to listen to those sort of interviews. But yeah, I did listen to a lot of their stuff back in the day.
And what of John Pitcairn?
That bastard's the cagiest of the bunch. He's appeared time to time to taunt us.
Is that in Russell's video? Yeah, I can assure you, Rob doesn't think that Cochran's the best player of all time. And if he does, I think he's like making up like a joke sort of thing to explain why Cochran is the best player of all time. Like some sort of thing of like, oh, it's like he's the best player of all time because he's the one that like got Jeff Probst or whatever, like something. I don't think that's genuinely what he thinks.
Putnam's just up ahead. You can't. I don't care much for your excuses, gentlemen. We should be building on Bunker Hill. Breeds is closer to the city, but it is also closer to their artillery. Our orders came.
Is common thinking now that Tony's the best? I think it's one. I think Tony and Sandra are probably like. I think if you were to do a like ask everyone in the Survivor community to pick who the best player is, I think the top two answers would be Tony and Sandra. And I think you get Parvati up there as well. And then Rob probably like fourth. Maybe Kim would be like somewhere in the top, like might be like fifth or sixth or so. And that'd be like the really like niche sort of group there that picks that, but okay, I think what we're gonna do here, I think we'll probably finish this sequence and then call it a night. It'll probably be in like 30 minutes or so. Who do I think the best one-time player would be in a public vote? What do you mean in the public vote? Like who? Oh, you mean like who do I think the general consensus would say is the best one-time player? I don't think Earl, because I don't think most of the fan base. Like, it matters who you're asking. If you're asking like Survivor Reddit, then maybe. If we're asking like Twitter or like the general, like the more casual fan base, then I don't think Earl at all. Favorite first boot? Probably Zane Knight or Chicken. It's probably one of those two. And all of Taryn's guests for live feed updates? I don't remember all of them. But I mean, I like most of them. I'm trying to think of the ones I like. Yeah, I feel like I like almost all of them, especially as like podcast guests. I mean, like, I don't know, like, in terms of, like, certain correspondence and whatnot, like, I've never been a big, like, Mari 4th person. Like, to be honest, I don't think she knows the game that well. And then, like, Chanel, I think, is someone that is, or Chantel? But anyway, I don't think she knows the game that well either. Or, like, at least is, like, someone that is, like, so openly, like, blinded by her personal feelings. Always found John Raymond hilarious. I think it's, like, the "you've got bastard" thing is, like, really dumb. But yeah, like, that kind of makes him notable. Is Dom a top 10 one-time player? Yeah, probably. He's on my list, right? Reem. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a weird one, though, because, like, obviously she's on there the entire season. Okay. Oh yeah, it would be funny, like, yeah, what if Edge of Extinction didn't exist on Edge of Extinction? Actually, really, what would that season be without Edge of Extinction? Because, like, at that point, we don't get Rick Devens coming back at the merge. We don't get Chris Underwood winning, obviously. So, like, is it just like an easy Gavin win? Like, what happens on that season? Because, like, if Rick never returns, we merge at, what, 11? Or is it 12? I think... Yeah, so it's 12, right? So, like, the Joe blindside probably still goes through. The Eric blindside probably still goes through. The question is, does the Julia blindside still go through? Because, like, part of that was perpetuated by Rick stirring things up at Tribal. Part of Victoria win? I don't think so. I mean, like, it matters, like, does the game play out the same, just, like, without Rick there? Because if it does, then I don't think so. Because, again, like, Victoria was not the greatest position coming into the final 5 or whatever it was going to be. Like, really, it's probably, like, again, like, if it's, like, a Lauren, Gavin, Julie final 3, then, like, Gavin probably wins. And by probably, I mean, he pretty much does win based on exit interviews. Okay. Don't know what the fuck happened there. Oh, okay, can you not? Thank you. Yeah, that's the final 5. Then, again, Gavin's flipping on Victoria for Lauren. But then, to be fair, at that point, Aurora would be the perceived biggest threat, right? So they would have voted out Aurora first and then Victoria. Which the Aurora boot happened in real life anyway. And then, yeah, Victoria at 4, unless she wins final immunity. Which I don't think is particularly likely. And then, yeah, Gavin supposedly wins that final 3 scenario. I mean, who's going to cause fire for Victoria? Like, are you saying that, like, Julie's gonna vote to save Victoria? Why would she do that when she voted her out in real life? And she was, like, the main orchestrator of her actual vote out. Like, I don't think they're going to fire. I think Victoria just gets voted out. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we're talking about forced fire making, aren't we? I completely forgot about that. I think Lauren does... Yeah, Lauren could save Julie, and then Gavin versus Victoria fire making. Which I assume Gavin wins. Considering Gavin, we know for sure, did practice fire. Mind you, we just don't really know about Victoria. But Victoria doesn't scream out to me as someone that did practice fire making. But who knows? Lauren declined the challenge. I know she declined the main show. I don't know about CBS. But I don't know why. I don't fucking know. Ask her. Oh, yeah, I mean, obviously, the Ted and Gandia situation is like part of why I would consider Thailand the worst season at this point. Where if it isn't for that, then I feel like it's definitely above Australian Outback. But it's because it has this like icky feeling to it that it's potentially below it. I love how we're just like following the Patriot. It's like just random fucking guy. But he's like, I think as a whole, like, even though the gameplay is very stagnant on Thailand, I feel like there's a lot of like dark humor in Thailand that I do find entertaining. Cool, still getting the buy followers thing. But yeah, like there are like a lot of like smaller moments across Thailand that I like than Australian Outback. But it's like, again, like the ickiness of the Ted and Gandia situation do make it tough to look at too highly.
And neither should you.
CBB3, the worst Big Brother season? I think it's up there. I mean, again, like, I would personally rather rewatch it than Big Brother 2.
We have order.
But, I mean, a lot of that has to do with, like, how much I've watched Big Brother 2.
We believe! To maintain vigilance, conserve your ammo, ensure a proper line of sight, and above all else,
what do you think Bill Postley's reaction was to Chris Rock getting slapped? He probably loved it. He was like, oh, I love slapstick. That's definitely Bill Postley's favorite thing. Robsy's great in the pre-merge, yeah. Fantastic character. Again, Tax Zone Challenge, one of my favorite moments in the history of the show.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, I did see the Tajik start doing interviews.
That was quite a speech.
To be honest, I don't care. I really don't at this point.
Such words have carried us thus far.
I didn't even care at the time to hear from Todrick, but at this point, I'm really like, I really don't care.
As I said he would, and set up camp on Molten Hill. There's no good way to get at him. Not with that maelstrom brewing down below. I suppose you could circle around a bit.
Him choking Clay is just one of the funniest visuals in the history of the show.
There is no time. I will have to chance a direct approach.
Oh, is Will Neff at the end of Kagian?
Twice today,
I think he's at Final Tribal.
That's
something.
Not because you're mad as a March hare, son.
Like, I do want to do a like top 10 challenges or something to that nature video. Don't know when I'll do it, but Attack Zone Challenge is for sure gonna be in there. But I really feel like the Attack Zone Challenge is like one of the like dumbest moments in the history of the show, but it's just really ridiculous TV. And like just seeing like I think it's like one of the first times where Jeff himself is just pissed. Or like he's like incensed at how the fuck aren't you guys following the rules here? For challenge the top 10 fights? I could. I don't know if I'm really like that. Okay. I feel like there's like other video topics I'd just be interested in doing more than that though. How many episodes will Neff watch per stream? Usually like 2 to 3. But sometimes people convince him to do more. But what, last night I think he did 2, right? No, he did 3? Yeah, he did 3 last night. He did Jeremiah, Jeffra, and Tasha Boots. I'm gonna die here, yeah. Jeff was wrong when he said Brim Browning was supposed to be kicked out of the challenge. Yeah. Again, I don't think Jeff remembers. I think that's the thing. God damn it. Fuck off! Whatever. I hate this part of the mission. Yeah, so again, we'll do the Pitcairn assassination, which is right after this section. We'll probably call on it. I believe this is going to end up being one of the shortest streams recently. Recently I've been doing like a whole bunch of 5-hour streams, which have completely fucked my sleep schedule again. So that's lovely. Too fair, I wouldn't have been fucked anyway. But still. It's been the most unlikable contestant ever, other than Dan Stilo. I think he's up there. I don't know if he's like... I mean, is he? He probably is, really. I like Colton is obviously up there too. Shannon Elkins is up there. And again, like talking about purely in-game, because I think outside the game, and obviously like add in like Scoop in, and I guess Barner is in-game with me. But yeah, I think Ben's probably up there. I'm gonna die here. Yeah, I hate this section so much. Alright, try this again. Okay, well that's not what I want to do. Yeah, I mean, Barner, like, again, obviously the game changer stuff tarnishes his legacy. But Barner is still a great character in both Australian Outback and in Cambodia. And also, like, I mean, like, before the Zeke situation, like, he was still, like, also had some fun moments in Game Changers as well. It's just that, like, obviously that's just, like, it's a massive knock against his legacy. Alright. Should have it this time. Most unlikable and... Oh, fuck! What?! Well, that's some bullshit. But whatever, made it. Most unlikable international survivor? Probably like a Zan. I think it's probably top of mind. From Champions. I don't really, I don't know, who else would be up there? Jub, I guess. To be fair, I don't remember much about Jub outside of him quitting. Again, outside the show, then yeah. But is Tajik high on my runner-up ranking? I mean, like, I don't know if I would include him in a proper runner-up ranking. Like any of the international, or any of the celebrity Big Brother people. But if we're just doing celebrity, then like, to be honest, he's actually probably number one. I would have voted for all three of the runners-up of celebrity over the winners. What the fuck? Just like flew out of the screen. Oh, fuck off. I thought I had that. Was already the only person to ruin their legacy on the show outside of bad gameplay? I'm trying to think, like, who is, like... Did anyone on All-Stars? I don't know. I mean, he's probably one of the few, for sure. Maybe like, oh, and actually, I guess that is gameplay, isn't it? Russell Swan. Yeah, so, I mean, he's probably one of the few. What Zan do on Champions? He was racist towards Galarni, and then he also quits the game. And also is like moping around about like hating being there for like most of his run. Come on. How is he not dead yet? If I die now, I'm sure it's gonna happen too. This is the dumbest fucking fight. Whatever, we got it. Oh yeah, Zach. I forgot about Zach. Zach's up there too. Zach from Champions vs. Contenders.
Why did you do this? To protect Adams and Hank.
How was Jason's OTT game? I'm for OTT. It was fun. Again, like OTT's just a weird season to properly assess gameplay because like it's like every week had a twist, and the game is fundamentally like a game where like there's a twist every round. So like Jason like is essentially the leader of his half the house, but he also like gets saved week one from a twist where like oh no, he gets saved week one by veto, right? If he didn't win the veto, he would have gone home.
Part of the puppeteer.
But yeah, I mean like leads his side, but then like in terms of public vote, like really is kind of a dick through a lot of the season. Ruins his legacy there. I'm too. Jason's probably an answer too. But then again, like Jason's a weird one because like he's loved by like half the fan base, but it's like absolutely reviled by the other half. So that's kind of weird. Could I see myself being a bitter jerk if I was on Survivor Big Brother? Not really. Mainly because like I don't take things like personally, like really even in life. Where like I have an understanding that you're going to do what is in your best interest, and I expect people to do what they perceive is in their best interest. So yeah, I don't really have an issue with people doing like things against me in the game. And to be fair, I think a lot of this is like I do think my worldview might be a bit warped due to how much I got into Survivor and Big Brother, or like because I feel like some of that has bled into my real life in terms of how I view certain things. But yeah, I think like I'm not gonna be a bitter jerk. The Tories want this hill so badly, let them have it. Mine either. Again, like with anyone, there might be some implicit bias with. But I think it could be biased in the opposite direction too. But like, Like, I mean, I think in a situation like Cass, like if I had a Cass, if I was on Survivor Kageon, and I'm part of the group that Cass flips on, then like I'm not going to vote for Cass, but mainly because I think Cass is a fucking idiot for flipping. Like, I mean, because like Cass makes like a fundamentally like terrible move, for flipping on half of the half of the tribe or whatever to go to the bottom of another side. Like, it's just a fundamentally bad move. And the only reason she gets dragged along further in the game is because they know that she is now a person who can't win the game. So it's like, in that situation, it's like, it matters like what you consider bitter. Like, it's like, will I be like voting against Cass? Probably. But it's also because like she made like a terrible game move.
Something soulless, and he is an obstacle.
Like, I think it's like in a similar sort of thing to like Spencer, and like how Spencer views the game, at least at the time, where I feel like that would be like, I would like respect like a Tony, a person who just like outplays me, while like I wouldn't respect Cass, who makes an idiotic move and then like talks about how people only view me this way because I'm a woman, even though like getting like people like a Cochran and stuff, I've done very similar things and also got the same amount of negativity. I think Zan's antics inspired production to bring Killarney back. Yes. I said this at the time we got the cast real. I would not be surprised if Shannon and Mike are a big reason why Killarney is back. Because like Shannon and Mike have like were production consultants for what is it, Immunity Island. I'm pretty sure they were consultants also for Return of the Outcast. Even Shannon mentioned on Twitter that the reason why she never talked about the cast is because she knew about the cast. And like the fact that they just watched Champions, like beginning of last year, I believe, so like around a year ago, and were very pro Killarney in that. Like makes like I would not be surprised if that definitely played a factor in them casting Killarney here. Where again, like no one fucking talked about Killarney before that, or like I feel like again, literally no one talked about Killarney. So for them to just like randomly bring back Killarney here, I do feel like that probably played a factor.
Bestowed upon you. Return these, and then your words may have some merit.
Or you could just admit that you are wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like having watched Survivor and Big Brother for years now, and then like
is that so, old
like
man?
thinking about how I view the game
I
has
will
definitely like
gladly demonstrate
changed
how
how I
easy I
view life, in probably a negative way. But yeah, I don't think like I don't take things personally usually in real life.
Achilles tells me you've uncovered a
And I think in some ways you can say that I'm like a game bot in real life.
Not anymore, my friend.
Surprising to pronounce everyone's names right for SA Champions. Well, that's something.
And I aim to help you catch him.
Well, that's because like no one has like that tough of a name to pronounce, right?
You and I are going to New York.
I guess you got like Boule, but like Boule, like I mean, how many other ways can you say it? And who else has like a weird name on that season? I guess like Xavion, but again, that's like kind of an easy one to say. Myra, whatever. Maria? How do you pronounce her name actually, now that I think about it? Because it is Marya, right? Maria? Whatever. Boutle, there's like a T. Yeah. Again, like SA, like I don't know how to pronounce most of those people's names. Well, it is what it is. But yeah, so again, I think we'll probably end stream here. Again, what time is it? It's like almost 3. Oh no, it's fucking past 3. God damn it. Yeah, again, we're almost 4 hours in the stream where I started like 30 minutes late. So yeah, we'll probably end here. So yeah, on Wednesday, my final juror ranking for BBCAN will come out. Obviously, by then we'll have the episode from Australian Survivor today, which, again, technically got spoiled already because they're idiots and posted on their Facebook or whatever. But, again, that's Australian Survivor for you. We'll be able to talk about that. Obviously, we'll be after episode 4 of Survivor 42. We'll talk about that, and then we'll have BBCAN. More BBCAN stuff to talk about. So it'll be quite a bit there. And, yeah. In the meantime, I'll try to watch some more BB3. And I started working on the challenge season ranking, but to be honest, I'm probably not going to make much progress on it. Especially because, like, now with how the schedule's laying out, I think I will have to wait until, like, at best end of May to release the video. So it's like, I'm probably not going to go all in on the editing of it just yet, but we'll see. But anyway, so yeah, that is it for the stream. Thank you everyone's still here. Again, still 10 people here. So that's something. But yeah, see you guys next time.